presents the IBM Game of the Week. Today from Everly Montgomery Field, it's the first round of the state 4A playoffs. Pueblo Centennial Bulldogs have come up I-25 to face the Longmont Trojans. Hello everyone, I'm Michael Rail. This is Greg Herman, and this is the start of the state 4A playoffs. These two teams, Greg, have a history. Pueblo Centennial, the Bulldogs, and the Trojans. Back in '87, Centennial down Longmont and actually won the state title. That was a state championship game. But in '91, Longmont returned the favor. Both of those games were at Dutch Clark Stadium. Who is that guy? Hey, over there. And that was the difference. Well, anyway, they're rude down in Pueblo, aren't they? That was the difference, though. The state championships there, they're both 1-1. This is a first-round game, though, a difference. But still, these two teams have played each other in postseason.
Well, last time that the Trojans played, as you said, they did win their state tournament game, or actually Centennial won that, I believe. But then when they go down to, in '87, they went down there. Coach Kramer thought he was going to get his first state championship. A big quarterback running that option for Pueblo Centennial turned that game around late in the second half. Pueblo Centennial took the state title. And a great run, as you talked about, in '91, that was the end of that great three-year run that Longmont had in that state championship game, also down at Dutch Clark Stadium. And a tough year. The Trojans' winning streak was snapped, and their three-game consecutive string of state titles also lost in that game.
Now, the Trojans have 9 straight postseason appearances going on right now. They haven't lost in the first round since 1984. So this team, even though some say they're young, Coach Gordon Kramer, talking with him earlier this week, he knows his team has a lot of experience, even the younger guys, because they are in the playoffs so often.
We talked to Coach Brockman from Pueblo Centennial. He says that this is not the same 10-0 team that you would see when the Trojans were undefeated before, but this team tends to find a way to win. When they got to make the big plays, they come up with it, and there's a reason that they are 10-0. They find the way to win.
Yeah, Coach Brockman knows this isn't quite the talent that he's used to, but it is a very good team and well coached. Let's take a look here at the Class 4A state playoffs. Pueblo Centennial UC at Longmont. Broomfield is at Grand Junction Central. Mitchell is playing Dakota Ridge. Pueblo South is at Brighton. Hinckley is taking on Rampart. The winner of that game will be facing the winner of this football game. Wheat Ridge at Sierra, a very good football game there. Greeley West is going to take on Regis, and Durango is at Golden. So we see some very good matchups headlined by that big game between Hinckley and Rampart.
Well, two of the top teams in the state, as the state rankings reflect, and that would be a tough test if the Trojans win today to go on and take on the winner of that ball game.
Okay, let's take a look at our key players of the game. First of all, number 26 for Pueblo Centennial. That's number 26. He's a linebacker, Jeremy Sheldon. He'll have to shut down that running game.
Well, they're going to have to get a good read looking into the Trojan backfield to figure out if the Trojans going to run or if they're going to throw. The Trojans like to run that play-action pass once they have established their running game. Jeremy Sheldon going to have to do a good job playing in a 4-4 today, trying to figure out what the Trojans plan to do.
And also on offense, the key player is number 28, Mike Van Manen. Now, Van Manen has over 1,000 yards for the season, had a good game against Pueblo South last week.
Well, he ran for over 140 yards last week in the critical game to see who got to go to the state playoffs against the Trojans. And when they run that option, he is the third option on the play, and usually the best guy to handle the ball when they want to run it.
Let's take a break, come back with our Longmont key players and the keys to the game right after this on the Longmont Channel 3 Game of the Week.
For the best bargains under the sun, it's the Front Range Indoor Flea Market. 20,000 square feet of collectibles, antiques, and new furniture, like these orthopedic Type 2 mattress sets starting at $169. Fully assembled chest from Purdue Woodworks starting at $49.88. Dinette sets starting at $139. Sofa love seat sets from $489. Unbelievable deals 7 days a week at the Front Range Indoor Flea Market, 1420 Nelson Road, just off the Diagonal Highway. At Herbert Motors in Longmont, we've set our goals high with a commitment to provide every customer with the highest level of service in the automotive marketplace at no extra cost to you. Before, during, and after the sale, Herbert Motors is dedicated to your complete satisfaction. We call it red carpet treatment. And at Herbert Motors in Longmont, it's not just a slogan, it's the only way we do business. Experience red carpet treatment for yourself. Stop into Herbert Motors on the Diagonal at Sunset in Longmont.
Most people know that chiropractic treatment can relieve pain resulting from a job-related injury or auto accident. But at Stately Chiropractic, we do more than just get rid of pain. We're a holistic healthcare practice concerned with your family's total wellness. We concentrate on keeping your family healthy and are successful in treating many common ailments such as ear infections, migraine headaches, and chronic low back pain. Enjoy good health and call us today at Stately Chiropractic.
And welcome back to Everly Montgomery Field. A great day for football action, a bit overcast, a little bit of wind, but still a nice fall day for football here.
And we're expecting snow later on in the day, but should not be a factor in today's ball game. So tournament time, good weather, good times.
Yeah, I can't ask for anything better, really, no snow. Let's take a talk now time about the Longmont Trojans and their key player. We're going to start off with number 62, Nathan Freilich. Now, Nathan's a defensive end. He's going to have a very tough time because this is a good-sized, in fact, much bigger Pueblo Centennial team, especially on the offensive line.
Well, he's going to see offensive linemen firing out and drive blocking against him today. Centennial likes to run the veer option where they'll lead in with the fullback as option number 1. So he's going to see fullback coming right at him. And when they don't run the veer, they're going to run the power, which is also going to come right at the defensive end. So Nathan Freilich had a good game last week against Skyline. Needs to have another big performance for the Trojans today.
And our key player on offense, another Nathan, although this is a Nate. This is center number 50, Nate Kelly. And again, they're going to be at a disadvantage somewhat in terms of size to this Pueblo Centennial team.
Well, Nate Kelly is the anchor on the offensive line. He's got to make the right line calls and blocking assignments for whatever defense Pueblo Centennial brings up to the line of scrimmage.
Let's take a look at our keys to the game. Now we'll start things off, as always, with the visitors from Pueblo Centennial. And Centennial, number 1, they run an I option. They run out of the I, but it's an option offense.
Well, when you talked to Coach Tom Brockman today, asked him what they had to do on the offense, he said run the ball. Run, run, run. First thing they want to do is run the option. They want to sneak the fullback in off tackle and then progress to the outside where either the quarterback or the pitchman will take the ball, and that pitchman is McManaman.
And on defense, Coach Tom Brockman wants to use a 4x4. No, we're not talking about a sports utility vehicle. We're talking about a defense where they have 4 players on the offensive line and 4 linebackers. So basically, Greg, they have 8 guys in the box near the line of scrimmage.
Well, the Trojans have seen this defense on several occasions this year. They saw it last week against Skyline, mainly because of the running ability of Joe Chrisman and the fact that the Trojan passing game has not really lit the world on fire.
Let's take a look now at our keys to the game for the Longmont Trojans. Number 1, they want to do the run and pass Trojan style. So what that means, of course, is run that ball, but you got to make them honor that pass.
Well, they want to play good, consistent football where they got a good mix on the offense. They don't want to be too one-sided. And you can see the efforts or the effects of being a too one-sided team. You start seeing trick defenses.
And on defense, they want to avoid mistakes, something Coach Gordon Kramer always wants to do.
Well, as we said, the Trojan coaching staff always wants to find consistency. They got to have a good game today. They know this is going to be a tough test.
Break time. We'll come back with the kickoff and the starting lineups on the Longmont Channel 3 Game of the Week.
Fits and the one they wouldn't want to return. Call Visual Impact Photography today to schedule your uniquely different portrait for this holiday season.
Channel 3 Sports brings you the best in high school sports action. Watch this week as the Longmont Trojans battle the Pueblo Centennial Bulldogs in the first round of the state football playoffs. As always, we will have play-by-play excitement, game stats, and sideline reports. Tune in Saturday at 6 p.m., Sunday at 10 a.m. and 6 p.m., Monday at 6 p.m., and Wednesday at 4 p.m. for this week's Channel 3 IBM Game of the Week on Channel 3, the Longmont Channel.
A beautiful smile is one thing you can wear your whole life. And Dr. Richard McManaman has been helping make beautiful smiles in Longmont for over 20 years. Effective and affordable, modern orthodontics will improve the health and longevity of your teeth, whether you're young or old. Dr. McManaman offers free consultation. plus convenient evening hours and flexible payment plans. Call 772-7722 for an appointment or visit Dr. McManaman in the Centennial Shopping Center next to Safeway in Longmont.
Everly Montgomery Field. There you see the Longmont Trojans coming out. The start of the State 4A playoffs.
You know, Michael, you forget about it, but during the regular season, you forget what tournament time is like.
Yeah.
We saw a little bit of that in the Open today where we couldn't get the players for the headshots for the players of the game or the key players because both coaching staffs know this is when it's for all the marbles. This is when it counts. Things get a little tenser, a little more intense.
Well, I'll tell you what, in talking about the Longmont Trojans, since 1984, as we mentioned during the Open, they haven't lost a first-round game. And I've been on the road or at home. They have been awesome in the first round. And during that span, since '84 in the playoffs, this is a team that's 27-8, the Trojans. So they are an excellent, excellent postseason team. And like I mentioned earlier, this is a team that even the young guys have had a lot of experience in the postseason. And you're absolutely correct. I mean, it's do or die time. You know, you make a mistake, it means everything to your team, and it can cost you the whole thing. You don't get a chance for tomorrow. So these teams, both of them have a lot of playoff experience.
Well, one thing, you talk about their record being 27-8, 3 of those losses in state championship games. One of them right here to Pueblo Centennial in 1987. And really a Trojan team that was loaded that year. They had Kenny Hill as the quarterback. They thought that they were going to have a real good team. Eric McDonald was the top-notch running back. And we'll go down to Pueblo Centennial after having a fairly easy run through the playoffs and had the first half well in hand before Pueblo Centennial's size just started wearing them down. And as we noticed in pre-games today, this is another big Pueblo Centennial team.
Back in '91, Longmont, as they wrapped up that state championship run, the great 3 years, beat Pueblo Centennial down at Dutch Clark Stadium to wrap things up there. We're getting close to the ready of the kickoff for the 1997 4A playoff postseason. And Aaron Garcia is deep, standing at about the 12, 13-yard line. And Clint Hoosh is going to kick the ball. And it's heading downfield, takes a bounce. Garcia picks it up, and there's the flags down. Someone was offsides for Centennial, so they whistle it right away.
And really a good thing for the Trojans because they did not do a good job getting to that ball and fielding it. They were up short, not expecting a deep kick, but with a single back, they were able to kick away from him and the ball on the ground rolling around.
And that's the one thing with the single back. You have to cover a lot of ground to get over there to the ball. It was a very good kickoff. As you mentioned, they caught a break there because there would have been a lot of white jerseys down there looking for Aaron Garcia. So they'll kick again. Hopefully the Trojans come out of this with good field position. So it's offsides. It's a 5-yard step off. And House will kick again. And again, Aaron Garcia is the single back. Straight kick this time, a little bit better. Garcia fills it at about the 13, has a good wall in front of him, breaks through, has some yardage. Oh, caught by the face mask, or around the neck, I should say. Didn't get the face mask, but turned the head around. Aaron Garcia, though, gets the ball out. It is good field position, 1st and 10 ball at the 41-yard line.
Well, for the Trojans, good starting position. We'll take a look at the starters here in a second, but Coach Kramer, they got to cash in on this good field position.
Yeah.
He knows they've got to score a lot of points today.
And they've got to take advantage of this field position. Single back behind Joe Chrisman is Aaron Garcia. Aaron, of course, his first year playing football, also his last year. He is a senior. There's the ball bouncing around, but Garcia catches it out of the air and gets ahead for about 3 yards. Could have been disaster. Let's take a look here at our starters. Matt Rogers, Jason McKee, Nate Kelly, Keith Gerdezer, and Seth Holland. In the backfield, it's Chris Spahn at tight end, Matt Magley and B.J. Nielsen are the wide receivers. Sean Wing is the fullback, Aaron Garcia the tailback, and Joe Chrisman is the quarterback for the Trojans. We'll take a look at the Pueblo Centennial defensive starters here in just a moment. They bring Sean Wing back into the backfield now. I formation. Chrisman fakes the handoff under some pressure and is sacked. Brought down by Forrest Rowell.
Strong safety on a blitz early, comes off the corner, tackles Chrisman for the big loss. Trojans going to have a 3rd and long situation.
John Hulko, Carlos Lucero, Gabe Castillas, and Roger Validas are the defensive line. Linebackers Jeremy Sheldon, Gray, Van Manen, Rao, Cortese, and Duras. Yes, they have lots of safeties and cornerbacks. They ask their safeties to come up and basically play linebacker positions. So they have to have good reads. Single back behind Chrisman is Garcia. There is the pass. Sean Wing was the intended receiver, but number 70 was in there. Carlos Lucero all over that one. Read it perfectly. And the Pueblo Centennial defense comes out and makes a statement right away.
Well, both options of that little pass play were covered. Had Garcia out in the flank and chose to go to Wing, working his way back across the middle. Just good defensive play. Centennial, an impressive start on defense.
Yeah, it looks like their defense was prepared for that play. They've seen that on the films many times. Trojans run that a lot, and they were looking for it. Here we go. Kicking the ball is Kurt Earl. Earl kicks it. It takes a good bounce, bounces up high, and it is caught by Cortese. Cortese turns it back upfield and gets it to the 28-yard line, where it will be 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs there. Pueblo Centennial did come in second in their conference, and we talked about it last week how, Pueblo South, Pueblo Centennial wonder, who wants to go up against Longmont. We'll take a look at the offensive line. Nick Farnsworth, Gabe Casillas, Carl Ellie, John Craig, and Roger Himlerich. And we'll get the backfield here after this play. 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs. They have some motion. Handoff. Quarterback keeper, and he's caught up from behind. Nice play there by number 60, Jeremy Rohde. Montero there with the run, gets a couple yards. Here's Jake Latea, Justin Yan, Sam Cortese, Clint House, Mike Van Manen, and Nick Montero. And we'll look at the Longmont defense here in just a moment. Montero there turned it upfield, had some good yardage possibly, but Rohde there makes a good tackle.
Well, the Trojans looking for the running play right off the bat to give it a little boot look by the quarterback, causing the misdirection and a nice little gain on 1st down.
2nd and a couple. There's a drop, the pass, and he is well covered there. And we'll take a look here at the defense for the Longmont Trojans. Nathan Froelich, Jason Giles, Brian Bean, Glenn Robinson, Jeremy Rohde, Sean Wing, and Barry Hansen. The backfield is Paul Workman, James Gabler, Brad Harvey, and Kevin Gussie.
Well, in typical coach speak, Coach Brockman said they were going to come out and run the ball. They've come out in 2 passing formations right off the bat.
Longmont tried to pass as well a couple of times in their first drive. Here is the option play, and Montero is going to get good yardage, but he's going to be stopped short of the 1st down. So that'll bring up 4th down, and it'll be a long one. And we'll see what Pueblo Centennial does here.
Well, the Trojans expecting punt. Now they're going to pull Garcia back off, leave.
Yeah, they're going to let Harvey go back to.
Leave Harvey back in the safety
I think they're going
position.
for it. Yeah, they are. They're going to go for it. They think they can get that 1 yard. Big play early. Montero's the quarterback. I option. There's a flag fly, and this will be a punting situation now because it's going to be 5 yards against the Bulldogs. So I expect they'll bring out the punter at this point.
Well, the dead ball foul, obvious indication that it goes against the offense. So it will be 4th and 6 now. Centennial's punting team will make the way to the field.
They're not going to take a chance on 4th and 6 ball at the 34-yard line. So they'll punt the ball away, and we'll check who's going to kick it. Looks like it's going to be Sam Cortese, who drops back. And same way with the Longmont Trojans. The quarterback stays back to block for the Bulldogs. So they have to watch out for a possible fake here. They do snap the ball long, gets it away. Cortese angling for the sidelines. Pretty good kick, all things considered. Drives it out of bounds, though. He's going to come back upfield, and we'll check to see where he goes with the ball.
And that little lack of patience by the Trojan fans is the official late getting down to mark the alignment with the field judge. The Trojans thought that they were going to get a very bad spot, but the official's right on the job, put the ball down where it belongs.
Well, the side judge comes up. He waits for the back judge, who has his arm raised to put his arm down. Once he puts his arm down, he stops walking, and that is where the Trojans take over. They have the ball at the 34-yard line, 1st and 10. Their second possession of this game so far. Both defenses look very good. Single back is Garcia. They'll hand the ball off to Garcia. He is in a lot of trouble early, hit hard by number 26, Jeremy Sheldon. And that's a loss of 2.
Little bend option with some pulling tackle or pulling guards in there, trying to create a hole in the defensive line of scrimmage. Nothing there, and Garcia lost of 2.
Bring Sean Wing back into the backfield again. Split out Magley and Nielsen. Fake the handoff again, pressure. Chrisman looking, has to get rid of it, does. Has Magley wide open. First down at the 50, get the ball, 40, foot race now, 20, and he's pulled down. Touchdown saving tackle by number 28, Mike Van Manen. But a great reception there of about 56 yards.
Good job by Joe Chrisman filling the heat from the backside, buys himself some time on the rollout. You'll see here the pressure comes on the backside, and Chrisman rolls away from it, but throws late over the middle, something you don't want to do unless your wide receiver is that wide open.
He was open.
Magley turns it upfield and gets a good gain.
52 yards officially on the play. Chrisman has the ball. Garen Garcia again, they're going to run the option pitch to Garcia. Garcia cuts it back inside. He's at the 10 and inside down near the 6, should have a first down.
Good play by the Trojans, a little freeze play. Keeps the defensive line at home, creates the opening for Garcia out on the wing, runs the ball up very aggressively into the middle of the field.
Good play there because they had shut down the corner, but Garcia realized that immediately, used his speed, turned it back inside and gets the first down. It is 1st and goal. 1st and goal, ball at the 7. Trojans with the first big opportunity in this ball game. Chrisman looking, goes to Calamea. Calamea dives, but it hit the ground. That is incomplete. 2nd and goal.
Just a little more patience on that pass play there, and that ball is complete. Calamea breaks off the route, and Chrisman just underthrows him a little bit.
Calamea dived, but the ball did hit the ground. They'll bring 2nd down and goal. Ball to 7. Again, Wing in the backfield. I formation behind Chrisman. Magley and Nielsen are the receivers. See, try to work the middle there. Nope, they're going to run the option again. Garcia trying to get outside, but nicely done there. Magley unable to hold his block. And as a result, the man he was trying to block, number 35, Ben Pappas. Pappas makes the tackle. See it coming right at you here.
Little option to fake the dive to the fullback, pitch it outside. Good support, run support up there by Sam Cortez on the defense.
So it's a loss of a yard. It'll be 3rd down and goal, ball at the 8-yard line.
Big play for the Trojan offense here.
Absolutely. Had a lot of momentum on 2 big plays. Hand the ball off to Wing inside. He is wrapped up immediately and brought right down there. Might have even lost a little bit.
28 Sean Wing tests the middle of the Bulldog defense and gets only a yard to the 7.
You can see us there.
37 John Haskell along with number 91 Val Diaz combined to make the tackle.
So it looks like B.J. Nielsen's going to set the tee down at the 15, where he'll try a 25-yard field goal attempt. It'll be from the right hash mark.
Well, the Trojan kicking game has not been one of the strong suits on the season.
Nielsen's kick is up, and it looks like he pushed it again. Wasn't able to push it enough. And it is no good, wide right. So the Trojans knock on the door, but come away with nothing. In the red zone, you got to come up with some points, especially in the playoffs. You don't get those chances very often. So the ball goes out to the 20-yard line, 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs there.
Centennial takes over 1st and 10 at its own 20-yard line.
So Centennial had the ball on their first drive and ended up having to punt the ball after an aborted attempt on a 4th and 1. Penalty stopped that.
Well, the Trojan defense has got an advantage now on the field position. They need to do a good job of keeping Centennial down on this end of the field.
Montera has the ball, breaks through, still on his feet, and he has one player to beat. Luckily, Brad Harvey wraps him up and brings him down for the tackle as he shot through there, Greg, just lost in all those bodies and gets a run play of about 16 yards for the first down, as you see on the replay.
Well, you see the pile there, and all of a sudden, Montera breaks out of the pile, and Harvey there for the touchdown-saving tackle.
I was about to say he was down after a short gain, and all of a sudden I see him pop out of there. Guy is small, but he has a lot of ability and runs hard. Here's a handoff. Van Manen into the pile, gets very little. And we'll go down here to Jeff Pfeiffer on the sideline.
Thanks, Mike. I've been looking over the shoulders of the Longmont coaching staff to find out what their concern was about the first series of plays. On offense, they're trying to stop the outside containment, the outside rushing of Joe Chrisman. They think that he's getting too much pressure on him. On defense, they're trying to stop that option. They're assigning defensemen on each potential runner to stop that option. Back to you.
Say here on the play, the handoff is to the first man through, wrapped up and brought down. That's number 32, Sam Cortez. He gets a couple. It'll bring up third down.
Well, the Trojans today, as they defend this option, they want to take away the first and second option. They want to force Pueblo Centennial to make the reads and try to successfully complete the 3 steps of the option, which means that they want the ball in Van Manen's hands.
Yes.
They feel if they can get it out there and they can make Centennial go through all those reads, they can force mistakes.
Third down, here's the handoff. Van Manen won't get anywhere near it. He is wrapped up. He will get a yard because of the surge of the offensive line, but that will bring up a fourth down. Now, they went for it on 4th down and 1 last time. Ball was at, about the 39-yard line. But this one here a little bit longer. This is 4th and 2, ball at the 45-yard line. It looks like they brought out the punting team.
The Trojans, though, not sold on this being a punt, as they did not bring in their punt receiving team, a.k.a. Aaron Garcia. Brad Harvey drops back, but the Trojans going to play a base defense on this.
Yeah, they're going to let Brad Harvey field any sort of punt that comes down. And they are going to kick it away. A line drive bouncing. Harvey lets it go. And it'll go down to the 14-yard line, where it'll be 1st and 10 for the Trojans there. 3:50 to go here in the first quarter. So you talked about the battle of field position. Longmont was winning it early, Greg. Now they're not. They have the ball back at their own 14. This is their worst field position of the game.
Well, one of the things the Trojans are going to have to do on offense, much like Jeff said that they were discussing on the sideline, they've got to do something about the backside pressure when Joe Chrisman bootlegs to the right side of the field. He's getting a ton of pressure from the backside. He's not going to have a chance to get this passing game going unless they can start protecting that.
Kalamea is in there as a wide receiver. Sean Wing, who started the season as the feature back, will get the ball here. He runs hard into the line but gets very little, maybe a yard on his first carry as the tailback.
Now don't forget the one aspect of the running game we've not seen from the Trojans yet. We've seen Aaron Garcia, we've seen Sean Wing on a couple plays up the middle, but Joe Chrisman has yet to show his abilities to run the ball. And the Trojans could just be pounding away, saving a big Joe Chrisman play coming up.
Yeah, I expect that's what they're doing right now, trying to just pound it in there, soften up the inside, and then give Joe Chrisman a chance to run. Here's the play, Chrisman. He's going to roll. He'll have some time. He'll have a pass away, throwing low, intended for number 17 there, Josh Markley, the tight end. Markle.
And you'll see it here. Good job by the offensive line this time, giving Joe the protection on the backside. The pass a little low as Joe's throwing on the run. The Trojans, big 3rd down play here.
3rd down and 8. And they're going to have Kalamea split to the bottom side of your screen there, just out of your picture. Nielsen up top, along with the tight end. Markle, Wing is in the backfield. Chrisman, straight drop, passes the ball, trying to flare it out there to number 46, Chris Spahn, from his from his tight end position. The linebacker was on him, and also the pass, as you saw, was just throwing too hard for Spahn to get to.
Well, Joe didn't look like he squared up real well. May have came open a little bit on that throw and left it out wide.
Well, Kurt Earl will have to punt the ball from inside his own 5-yard line. Here's the snap. They're going to set up a return. The kick is away, takes a good bounce. Bobbled there, and nicely done. Number 62 getting down there for the Longmont Trojans. Seth Holland makes the tackle on number 32, Sam Cortez. And a good play there, Greg.
Well, good job and a good punt by Earl that time. Holland doing a good job hustling down. Cortez fields it, tries to go off to the right, and Holland just right on his legs, takes him down with a good solid tackle.
They were setting up to return that ball. As it is, though, they have very good field position. Ball at their own 46-yard line to start the drive. Their best field position of this day, 2:57 to go in the first quarter. Here's the option, and he's brought down for a loss of about a yard there. Montera that time unable to work his way through and find the hole like he did on the last drive where it looked like he was going to lose some yardage.
Good job coming up on the tackle by James Gabler, Jed Schutze, and also K. Glenn Robinson there for the play.
So now the ball is pushed back to just outside the 45-yard line. No score in this ball game. Montero looks over in the defense, going to run the option play, and he's going to be pulled down after a short gain, strung out nicely there by the defense. Now it looks like he ran a long way, but in reality, Greg, he only gained about 2 to 3 yards.
Well, Jeremy Rohde did a good job running up the line of scrimmage there, pursuing from behind and getting to the feet of Montero. We talked last week about how aggressive the Trojan defense is and how misdirection sometimes hurts them, but that's because they are a very fast football team defensively.
And they don't have a huge defense by the usual Trojan standards. It's still a good-sized team, make no doubt about it. But they use their speed to get in there. Here's the drop. Here's the pass away, and it is nearly intercepted. I believe that was Gabler who almost had it. Yes, James Gabler had it go through his hands as he tried to pull it in, Greg. He just was unable to get the handle.
Well, good job there on coverage. Really only one receiver out in the route for Pueblo Centennial. You'll see Montero's pass here hurried by Hansen, and I believe that was number 31 back behind the play for the Trojans. Workman, who had it because Gabler had front coverage, so he had him short. Workman had him long, and a very tough pass to complete.
Yeah, he threw that right into coverage, and you're right. They had lots of guys back to block, not very many people in the route, and Workman almost had the interception. Garcia has it slip through his hands. Now it's on the ground. He has to go down and cover it at the 10-yard line. Almost disastrous as number 35, Ben Pappas, was down there, and Garcia an adventure in receiving there.
Well, Garcia had a little trouble getting his footing back to try to get back on the ball, and 35 there for Centennial. Ben Pappas went right over the top of it, just had too much speed, could not control the ball. The Trojans is lucky there, but Garcia doing a good job focusing on getting the recovery.
So now the Trojans continually have worse and worse field position. Now they're back at the 10-yard line to start this drive. Wing is the single back. Hand the ball off to Wing. They cut back through. Boy, he almost dropped that ball, but he gets the good gain about 4 yards out to the 15-yard line.
The running back coach for the Trojans will probably talk to Sean Wing about switching hands when you got somebody wrapped around your hips as you're running through the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, if somebody's hitting his arm at that point, that ball would have been on the ground, but Sean Wing able to hold on to it and keep it in there. Garcia will come back out.
The Trojans have got to run the ball. They cannot become one-dimensional in trying to pass the ball, but they've got to continue to run in an effort to try to set up the pass later in the game.
Chrisman, straight drop, looking, gets the ball out to Garcia, and he's going to lose yardage. Despite his best efforts, he's going to lose at least a yard.
And the Trojans really lucky on that play that they did not have an illegal block in the back as Garcia was making the reception. The wide receiver on the linebacker just right square in the middle of the back, and the Trojans benefit from the no call.
The Calumet is going to come in with the play call and hand it off to Joe Chrisman here. B.J. Nielsen will come out, and Matt Magley will stay in. Looks like they'll have two wide receivers, two tight ends as well. Ween and Spawn, along with Garcia in the backfield on this third down play, which should be the last play of the first quarter. They get it off, fake the handoff. Chrisman rolling, looking, gonna run, has some room, but
will
Did he
get
get
the
there?
first
I think
down.
he got it. Yes, he did. Got past the 20-yard line. There you see Joe Christian. You talked about it, Greg. Gave him a chance there to either run or throw, and that is the end of the first quarter. We'll talk about it when we come back here. To give a chance for him to run the ball, and at the end of one quarter of play, we have no score from Everly Montgomery Field.
Look at these beautiful dinette sets. Expensive? What if I told you they start at just $139? Or how about this sofa love seat from $489? Where can you get terrific bargains on quality furniture? You won't believe me, so I'll show you. These single mattress sets for just $169. Well, my time is up. What's the secret for new furniture at discount prices? The Front Range Indoor Flea Market. If you don't believe me, come see for yourself. 1420 Nelson Road in Longmont.
And we're back here at Everly Montgomery Field. There you see a good crowd on hand for this first round of the state playoffs. No score. And we'll talk about that play we just saw the end of the first quarter right after this. 1st and 10. Garcia is the back. Chrisman, I don't know if that was a broken play or not, but Chrisman keeps it, rolls outside, and going to be knocked down inbounds after a gain of about 5 yards. Now let's talk about that play at the end of the first quarter there. It gave Chrisman a chance to roll out and try to find receivers, but you spotted something downfield.
Well, Sean Wing came off the left tight end position straight up the middle of the field. No one picked him up. Joe Chrisman was trying to set his feet to throw the ball back to Wing, but he just had too much pressure. Look for the Trojans to come back to that play, as Sean Wing was the deepest guy on the play, had no one around him. Joe Chrisman just didn't have time to complete the pass.
2nd down. Handoff. Garcia has some blocking, and then it shuts down on him. Good pursuit there, again, by the defense of Pueblo Centennial. The Bulldogs string things out. He gets a couple of yards on that, but it could have been bigger.
Well, one of the things that you'd like Aaron Garcia to try to learn, and that is as you're running, look for your cutback lanes. He had a huge cutback lane. If he could change direction, he was committed to following his blocker, so he did not cut back. Had he cut back, he had a lot more room.
Absolutely. You have to find your holes. And this is the first year Aaron Garcia has played football. And here he is, a starting back for a team that's undefeated. He played soccer predominantly. Here's the pass. It's away, tipped up in the air, and dropped. It was dropped. A good call by the line judge. You saw the ball hit the ground. Calamea was the intended receiver. It was tipped and almost intercepted. Zach Gray nearly had that one.
Right here, trying to throw through linebacker coverage underneath. Gray is the one that tips the ball.
Gray tipped
and
it.
he is the one that had
almost
the biggest argument about if it was a catch or not.
Yeah.
But the Trojans, well, actually, it may have been a rule to catch as we have a confab going on.
It has to be an incomplete pass. A good call there, because it was absolutely, the ball hit the ground. Duras had the ball in his hands. He rolled over, and the ball did drop out and hit the ground, clearly. So the punting unit does have to come out, though, for the Longmont Trojans. And right now the passing game is not clicking for the Trojans. They have had troubles there all season.
Well, and you wonder why they had to have a conference, as the official who called the play incomplete was about 2 yards away from the play and was very adamant about the call he made.
The back judge was coming in. He thought it was intercepted. But after the confab, they decided it was an incomplete pass, and that's good. There's the kick, fair catch made at the 36-yard line. A very good kick there by Kurt Earl.
Well, when you're out kicking the ball around in your backyard, you feel about the same way that Kurt Earl did that first time that you get that spiral and you get that ball to actually turn over in the air. Textbook punt that time by Kurt Earl.
Yeah, absolutely. Very good punt. 1st and 10. No score in this ball game. Just under 11 minutes to go in the first half. It's been a battle of defenses. Longmont did have the ball in the red zone, though. They had a 1st and goal from the 7 and ended up with a missed field goal. That is a full house backfield. That's a full I formation. Montero rolling, looking, throwing, has a receiver. Oh, it pounces out of his hands, number 89, Justin Yon. He had it in his hands, Greg. That's a tough drop there.
Well, and young Justin might want to get checked for a back strain as that ball was falling over behind him, and he was looking back to see where the prize possession went. As you see it right here, in the hands, just could not control it. A good pass by Montero.
Yeah, right there. Montero had it on the money. Jan has to pull that in. Second down and 10.
Pueblo Centennial, not a passing team, but you got to connect on them when you have your opportunities.
Here's the play, and wrapped up. Montero dropped down by Robinson.
Well, Robinson almost caused the fumble there as Montero took the ball out of the fullback's belly. Robinson comes over top. Montero, good job to hold on to it. So Montero did a good job that time.
Yeah, absolutely, because Robinson had knocked the ball out. It hit the ground.
You see it right here.
At the last second there, Robinson fell down and cut off the view of the ball, but it did hit the ground, but he landed right on top of it. So now third down and long, 12 yards. Run the option again. He's going to turn it upfield, but Montero gets back to just inside the original line of scrimmage.
Sean Wing cleans it up on the tackle. And the Trojans really, for a team that wants the ball to get out to Van Manen, they're doing a good job forcing the quarterback to keep that ball and turn it upfield.
Yeah, Montero has had to run it because they have been all over Van Manen. Each time they've got someone out there making sure that there's very little for him to go and try to run into the teeth of the defense. Here's the kicking formation. Ball kicked away from Brad Harvey. A good punt, though. Very good punt. Harvey fields it at about the 14 and is knocked out of bounds just inside the 20. We'll call it the 18. First and 10 for the Trojans with 9:35.
Let's go back to that option play real quick. You talk about how Van Manen's had people all around him. Asked Coach Kramer before the game today when he said that they really wanted to funnel the ball out to him. I asked him, do you have him spied, or do you have some kind of special thing for him? And he really didn't respond. He just kind of grinned and said, no, we're not going to spy on him. We're going to play our base defense. But
he doesn't like to give anything away, even though we're like minutes away from kickoff, and we're not spies. we are loyal to the home team. First and 10. Garcia gets the ball, gets good blocking, cuts upfield, tries to get through there, and is brought down, but a good gain. Zach Gray makes the tackle.
Outstanding run off tackle that time by Aaron Garcia. Good blocking on the outside. We're going to watch it here and then watch at the end as Seth Holland looks like he may have hurt his knee coming over the top. But just good explosion that time by Garcia getting upfield. One of the best positive runs for the Trojans so far.
Yeah, they had two big plays in a drive in the first quarter, and then both defenses really have just been dominating this game. Here's a handoff again to Garcia, gets some blocks, but is pulled down and gained very little, if anything. Jeremy Sheldon trips him up, and they'll call it no gain. Kalamea comes into the lineup. Nielsen will come out.
So with 8 minutes, 45 seconds, 0-0, low-scoring game, good defensive struggle. But the Trojans really have lost the field position battle and been on their side most of the game.
Yeah, they had it in the first quarter, and then it went away, and now they're trying to work themselves upfield. That'll be a gain of about 3 to 4 yards by Garcia. Both coaches, Brockman and Kramer, have really been mixing it up. We talked about it. Teams in the postseason, you've got to be able to throw that ball. These are predominant running teams, Greg, but both of these teams have come out and tried to establish the pass.
Well, we talk about it in any sport we cover, and tournament time's just a different animal when it comes to how the game is played, and these are two veteran coaching staffs that have had a lot of tournament success.
Here's the play, Chrisman looking. Oh, he has Nielsen wide open, missed him, tries to get to Kalamea, who tips and catches it. He steps out of bounds. It's a first down at the 42-yard line. I tell you what, though, both you and I saw B.J. Nielsen wide open. He had run down and curled back up towards the middle of the field. Chrisman missed him. The ball was thrown to Kalamea. The ball was tipped, but Kalamea also put his big hand up there, gathered it in.
A good play fake that time by Joe Chrisman, and he picks the underneath receiver, Kalamea. Good concentration on the ball to gather it in and make the reception.
Great play by Kalamea, but boy, they missed 6 points. Here's a handoff to Garcia. He has some blocking room, trying to turn the corner. He will. He'll slip and go down. He gets about 4 yards, though, on the play.
Michael, I think I strained something in my arm trying to point out that wide open receiver to you.
Both you and I saw
play.
Nielsen wide open. And I mean, I tell you what, the air just got sucked right out of this booth. We both saw Nielsen coming open and thought that Chrisman was going to go to him because if he catches the ball, there's no one around him. But that was then. It's now 2nd down and 6. Magley and Calamea, the receivers. Sean Wing gets the ball. He's running, has the first down. He's at the 30 and knocked down at the 20 inside. Oh, we'll call it right at the 20-yard line where it'll be 1st and 10 for the Trojans. Another good drive.
Good power football by the Trojans. The offensive line blasts off. Sean Wing just right up the middle. You'll see it right here. A little delay right up the middle. Lots of room. Doesn't really have to run over very many people. 2 guys at the end just get blown up when Wing comes through to him.
So it'll be 1st down, ball to 20. Gonna run the option play, the pitch is to Wing. He has a blocker, gets outside. You gotta give credit to Calamea there for a block at the wide receiver position right about the point in which Sean Wing was tackled. That's where Calamea held up his player, and that allowed Sean Wing to get great yardage.
Well, Spahn and Calamea, both with good blocks out there, just stood up their men and kept them from coming in and closing on Sean Wing.
That's what the tight end and wide receiver have to do in an option play. They've got to hold their blocks, and they did it on that play. Nielsen and Magley now are the receivers. Wing still in the backfield. Option play again. This time Chrisman keeps it. Cuts it. Oh, boy, he doesn't get tripped. He has 6.
And Joe Chrisman knows he had 6 points there. He was a half a step away. You could see it. All of a sudden, just an excitement in him as he makes his way towards the goal line.
Watch the play. At the very end, he is tripped. Number 91 with the touchdown-saving trip. Validis. Or Valdez, I guess is probably how you say it. For Pueblo Centennial saves the touchdown. But it is 1st and goal, ball at the 7. Here's the play. Chrisman going to keep it. Cuts around outside. Touchdown, Joe Chrisman! 7-yard touchdown run, 5:45 left in the first half. And the Trojans get on the board first on a good drive to start at their own 18-yard line.
Smart decision this time by Joe Chrisman. Fakes the ball into the line of scrimmage, comes down the line, fakes the pitch. You'll see a little fake pitch right there. Makes himself an alley, gets into the end zone, and Trojans get on the board.
We're going to have a 2-point. No, we're not. We're going to have Sean Wing is going to come in and kick the ball. B.J. Nielsen is the usual kicker, but he's had a tough run lately. Sean Wing comes in and will get a miss on the extra point. I thought that was good, but it is no good. Wide left or wide right. I'm not quite sure where it went.
Miss to the left.
Push to the left. Okay.
So the Trojans get up 6-0. Coach Kramer talked about how they needed to score a lot of points in this ballgame. And maybe a key to that missed extra point. Sean Wing is just gassed, working his way back up the field. He's got to kick off.
He's got to kick off. I don't know if something happened here to B.J. Nielsen or not, other than the fact he might just have lost his confidence. He's had a tough run kicking the ball.
Mike, we talk about tournament time being special. One of the things that you find once the tournament games come around is you see a lot of former football players showing up in the stands. And we've seen Kirk Necto, who was a great running back for the Trojans years back. Marty Staub played back in the late 70s. He's here. So really brings out the fans.
Sean Wing's kick bounces high, going to go down and be fielded at about the 2-yard line by Cortez, who runs around to the outside, gets to the 20-yard line, smacked hard high by Brad Harvey, and low by number 32, Jim Ferguson. So it will be 1st and 10 just outside the 20-yard line for the Pueblo Centennial Bulldogs. We'll see if that missed extra point looms large. 6-0 though the lead here for the Longmont Trojans.
We talked about this being a defensive struggle, and Pueblo Centennial, a good defensive team, so it's important for the Trojans to cash in on that. We know the Trojans got a good defense.
See what they can do here. Here's a handoff. Van Manen gets through, but is hit hard. Gets a couple. James Gabler smacked him hard. And there were others in there as well. Call a 3-yard game.
Well, getting back to the scoring, the Trojans would like to have some points on the board early, get a good look at the Trojan bench there, but because of the size of this Pueblo Centennial team, you got to worry about your defense getting worn down a little bit as this game goes on.
Now that will be a key, absolutely. We'll talk about that more in the second half, I'm sure. Here's the handoff. Get the ball there to Cortez, I believe. He gets a couple more. Check that. That's number 28, Van Manen. So they'll bring up 3rd down and 5. Ball 26.
Well, the Bulldogs trying to find a different way to get the ball in Van Manen's hands.
I want to say McMahon too. I'm going to say McMahon, what we're trying to not do. Van Manen, the feature back. He was in the first 3 games of the season, all losses for the Bulldogs. Ran only in the last 7 and had over 1,000 yards. He'll bust up the middle there is the halfback, Cortez, but he's going to be short of the first down.
And the Trojans should get the ball back with just under 4 minutes to go in the half.
4th down and 1.
Relatively good field position.
Well, they held him up. The ball is at the 30. And they are dropping the punt, Sam Cortez. Brad Harvey is going back, and they're going to have 2 players back, Barry and Brad. Hanson and Harvey. This one's kicked down towards Harvey, but Hanson coming across the field, fumbles it. Brad Harvey picks it up, cuts around the outside. He has blockers. Look at this play ahead. He gets another block, cuts down inside the 10 to the 6-yard line. And for all that, the Trojans hit the ball first and back to 6. Hanson came up for it. He took the ball on the run, was hit, dropped it. And Brett Harvey picks it up, gets good blocking around the side, and almost able to take it into the end zone.
Good alert play by the Trojans and Harvey. Hanson picks it up, the ball drops. As soon as the ball drops, the Trojan return team did not give up on the play. He gets a wall of blockers set down there. You see Workman leading the way right there for him. Robinson was the other guy down on the blocks. And the Trojans in great field position, trying to go in again before halftime.
Give credit to Workman. He was blocking Cortez. Cortez didn't make the tackle, but Workman didn't want to push him down from behind for a penalty. So the ball's to the 6, 1st and goal. Option play. They're going to swing it out to Garcia. He's going to lose yardage, back to about the 9.
Well, Van Manen does a good job coming up and turning Garcia in on the pitch. Got to block that corner up a little better in order for that play to be successful. And they were keeping a close eye on Chrisman on that play also.
So the ball will be back outside the 9-yard line.
One of the strangest things on that punt return, Barry Hanson got a lot of credit, a lot of congratulations after dropping that ball right there for Harvey.
His beautiful handoff, I guess. Harvey, as you mentioned, and the team never just gave up, and it was a good play. Trying to get the ball out to Nielsen. Incomplete pass as he was covered nicely.
That's a tough pass to complete at this level, and a rather flat route. And it's a timing pattern, and your timing's got to be perfect in order to hit that pattern.
Well, Duran was with him step for step as well, so Nielsen, even had he caught the ball, would have probably been pulled down at about the 5. So bring 3rd down up for the Trojans, and they've got most of 10 yards, or yeah, almost 10 yards, I should say, best way to put it, to get into the end zone. Wing is the single back. Calamea and Magley the receivers. He has receivers open, throws the ball incomplete. Trying to get the ball out there to Markle. I tell you, he had a couple of guys he could have picked there, Greg.
Well, good pass protection that time, and the receiver's there. That ball needs to be caught. And the Trojans now see if they have the field goal. Haven't seen the tee come in. Looks like the Trojans are going to go for it here on 4th and goal.
At a kicking game, well, I tell you what, the red flags are up on that right now. When you have to go for it on 4th down and nearly 10,
Look for Crispin to run behind Wing, maybe out onto the flanks.
See what they do here. Crispin drops, looks. Oh, he has Nielsen open, doesn't see him. If he can get a block, can possibly get in, but he gets wrapped up. They're gonna, yeah, see the problem was the guy who was out there trying to get the block, I'm not sure who it was, ended up having, Spawn had to come back, and because Crispin cut back, there was a clip or a block to the back. That'll bring a penalty flag.
Receivers are open early, but good pressure. Crispin has to pull the ball down. He gets that block right there. He scores. This penalty will be declined, and Centennial will take over. So they dodged a bullet on this play.
So you see the decline of the penalty. So again, the Longmont Trojans down in the red zone. They've been down there 2 out of 3 times. They did score 1 touchdown. But the other 2 times, Greg, have come up short and really not looked very good at all, actually, when they've had goal-to-go situations those 2 times.
We've got to give some credit to the Centennial defense, who stood up and made a good stand.
It's a 6-point lead for the Trojans. Montera is wrapped up and brought down. And I tell you what, holding on for dear life was Barry Hansen as he had a hand on the jersey. No tearaway jerseys in high school, and that was able to allow the rest of the defense to come in there and hit Montera and knock him down.
And unfortunately for Montera, Hansen held him up, and then he met Mr. Workman and Mr. Wing. The last guy you want to see when you're in a vulnerable position.
Yeah, as you're being held there. You can't really do anything, it would go down.
The human missile.
Yeah, he tried to get out of that, which he got hit hard, but stays in there. Going to hand them off to the first player through, and they're going to get very little.
Look for the Trojans to start utilizing timeouts here.
They took a timeout at that point. So we're going to take a break here, and we will come back for the rest of this first half here on the IBM Game of the Week. It's easy to blame someone else. He made me skip school. They forced me to try drudge. Everyone else was doing it, so I had to. Listen, it's your life. Only you can live it. Only you can change it. The truth is everyone feels pressure. Everyone has troubles. It's how we deal with those challenges that matter. How we learn from them determines who we are. Take control of your life, your choices, and you'll become the person you want to be. This message is from IBM, just another way IBM connects with kids.
Once again, we'd like to thank IBM for sponsoring the IBM Game of the Week here on Channel 3. We hope you enjoy it, and I hope you thank them as well.
Absolutely. We really appreciate IBM's efforts to get you these games. So a 3rd down and long here. Here's the handoff. And a wrap-up Van Manen again. He's tackled by Sean Wing. His counterpart number, both number 28s, play on offense and defense. And another timeout called. Yep, another timeout is called to try to save that clock. 4th down and 4.
Well, the Trojans want to utilize what little bit of the clock is left here.
They have $1:40 to go. And they will have a timeout, Greg.
They'll have 1 timeout left. They have a passing game that they feel possibly could work here at the end of the half.
Well, they should get good field position. You might even be able to run a play or two before you have to go exclusively to the pass.
Well, and if you can get a first down here or there, the clock also stops on the first down. Of course, you can always move up and spike the ball. And something maybe to keep an eye on over here on the Trojan sideline as we get ready is that we have Aaron Garcia warming his arm up. So quite possibly look for a halfback pass when we come back.
Good call. We might see a gadget play. Absolutely. Garcia Well, we'll see after that. We'll talk about it in a moment here. Cortez is to kick. He'll angle again for this. Not a good kick at all. Hangs this one way up high. And fair catch is called for by Brad Harvey. Great field position for the Longmont Trojans inside the 40, where they will have the ball 1st and 10. They ran a play earlier where they passed the ball out to Garcia as he swings out, and it's actually a lateral because he's going backwards on the pass. So we'll see if they utilize that play, and maybe Garcia's going to try to throw it.
Look for that right here, and you can look for your primary receiver for Garcia to beat Joe Chrisman on the backside of the play.
They'll get rid of the ball. There's a minute 33 to go here in the first half. Chrisman has Garcia in the backfield. They'll throw the ball
actually
to Magley. Magley's going to look. Oh, he has a wide open receiver. Sean Wing dropped the ball. It went through his hands. Sean Wing was cutting across the field, had a step. And Magley with a good throw. I tell you, I didn't know Matt Magley had an arm like that. That was on line, 45 yards.
Well, I think if you think back a couple years, Matt Magley might have been the backup quarterback at one point in time. He threw that ball very well, and he had his choice of receivers. And one down the sideline was Garcia on the backside, and Sean Wing really, wow. You can't really get on Sean Wing too hard for dropping that ball because he had to spend so much effort just to get across to get to that pass.
That's a tough one, though. You really got to pull that one in if you can. At the goal line, that would have been 6 points. Hand the ball off to Garcia. He's caught from behind and pulled down, and I think they're going to have to use their timeout. Zach Gray on the tackle, and they call their final timeout with a minute 16 to go here in the first half. Well, they had the play set up. They had the receiver downfield, just couldn't execute it. And one of the things Gordon Kramer harps on all the time, you can hardly go through a conversation with the man without him talking about execution. You've got to make it work if everyone pulls it off, and there you see Coach Kramer. He wants his team to make the plays. And they had their chance on that play there. This is a team that's been, as we talked about earlier, they've been down in the red zone 3 times. They did get 1 touchdown, but the other couple times had problems. And they only have a 6-point lead.
Well, you can trust in the fact that that was not the only gadget play that the Trojans do have. They have a full bag of plays, and a lot of them involve Joe Chrisman eventually on the backside of either a throw or some kind of reverse.
Well, you talked about Aaron Garcia going backside to Chrisman if they were going to throw the ball to him. Well, Garcia's one who went to backside, and he was wide open as well. But, of course, Magley on the side of the field didn't see him. Straight drop, look, throw, knockdown, nicely read by the defenders there. It was knocked down by number 35, Pappas, but the defender, Cortez, was all over Calamea as well, and it'll bring up 4th down, and because of the passes, they actually used up only about 22 seconds. There's a minute 11 to go here in this first half. So the Bulldogs will get the ball back and have a chance to do something before halftime. See if they try to come after the punter.
Well, don't forget that the Trojans on positive field position side are not afraid to use a fake punt. Once again, Joe Chrisman is the up man.
They got to go 12 yards to get the first down. They're going to do it. Chrisman, he's going to throw. He has Harvey wide open. Harvey at the 20, and he is pulled down there. That play worked, and you guessed exactly what was going to happen. That comes from years and years of being here watching the Longmont Trojans. Very good.
Well, one of Coach Kramer's favorite plays is keeping that quarterback as he up back and using him on the fake punt. Kurt Earl did a good job faking that the ball was behind him. And give Pueblo Centennial credit. They were there at the point of attack. They just didn't have all the receivers covered.
And they came up and brought guys from underneath for the receivers. Chrisman dropping, throwing, has Calamea, touchdown! Ryan Calamea scores a touchdown with 46 seconds left to go in the first half. And that is a big, big touchdown. And looks like they'll go for 2 here. They are. They're calling for the 2-point conversion.
Trojans caught him a little flat-footed after that fake punt. Good call. Go right for the heart. Take him out of the play immediately. And Joe Chrisman had all day to throw that ball. Ryan Calamea works his way back across the center of the field. Joe Chrisman just pitch and catch with him.
That was an excellent throw by Joe Chrisman. One of the best passes we've seen him throw. They'll go for 2 with Garcia. They have Magley and Nielsen, the receivers out wide. A couple of linebackers going to run the option. Chrisman in a lot of trouble. Spins around but gets back to the original 2-point line of scrimmage. So the 2-point attempt is no good. So 46 seconds go until halftime. And the Longmont Trojans have a 12-0 lead as they score late. That's a big momentum boost for this team.
Well, Pueblo Centennial came up and made the play on the 2-point conversion, but you could tell they were deflated after the big fake punt play. Once again, we talked about that pass play, why it worked. Longmont had like 4 guys out in the pass pattern, and Joe Chrisman just had his choice.
Did a very good job getting things set up. So now the Trojans, on a good pass by Joe Chrisman, have taken a 12-point lead. Puts a lot of pressure now on Pueblo Centennial on the road.
Hey, look, real quick, let's talk back about the history of these two teams. That is not the first time Centennial has seen that fake punt play. They saw it in '91 with Paul Shoemaker running that play from that same punt formation.
So the Trojans are offsides. We'll kick it again.
So the Trojans will have to kick off from the 35-yard line.
They'll kick the ball this time from the 35. Sean Wing will do the honors again.
Going back to that fake punt in Pueblo, believe that they ran that ball instead of throwing it, though, as they were going into on one of their touchdown drives.
Well, the fake punt we saw just moments ago was a situation where they had the 2 out guys who are usually down to cover the punts, of course, on a fake punt become receivers. Well, they drew off the safeties and the other guys who were back to receive the ball. They all came to them, and boy, I tell you what, they sent down 3 guys right down the middle of the field, and Chrisman just lobbed the ball out to Harvey, who was wide open.
There was only 1 guy out there to cover those 3 guys.
Yeah. There was nobody out there at all. The defense had completely moved to the wide side of the field. They're going to put some time back up on the clock. So the Trojans kicking off, Sean Wing with the lead. Van Mennen and Cortez back to receive the ball. They're sending about the 20-yard line. And here's the kick from Wing.
Good kick.
Gets his leg into it big time. That ball's going to roll, and Van Manen just lets it go into the end zone for a touchback. So a very good kick by Sean Wing, as he actually had lost 5 yards and still was able to drill it into the end zone.
And that ball, a dangerous play for Centennial. If they don't cover that ball and it stays in play, the Trojans have an opportunity to recover it and add to their lead.
Well, Van Mennen took a look at it, was pretty confident it was going to go into the end zone, so he let it go and made a good decision, because if he tries to pick it up, he's down inside about the 10-yard line, right around the 5, and would have really have some trouble trying to get back out to the 20-yard line, where they will have the ball 1st and 10. And now a different look. Out of that I formation, they have Van Manen just as their single back and a couple of receivers down low. Here's the pitch to Van Manen, trying to get more blockers down low. We're going to have a hold coming up, and that'll go against number 86, Jake Laka.
Well, there's a reason that he had a cutback lane, and that's the Trojan defense was being held on the corner, and Barry Hansen.
So the penalty flag you saw there at the end of that replay flies in there on the hold. Coach Tom Brockman wants to bring the whole team over to the sideline to talk. They're going to take a timeout, it looks like. Or are they just going to wait until they get done with the... it looks like they're going to call a timeout, because they're going to mark off the penalty here. So 41 seconds to go here in this first half. Now let's talk real quick about the other games going on. I tell you, it was a real good game going on down in Colorado Springs, that Sierra game against Wheat Ridge, last year's state champions. Sierra, along with Longmont, the only other 4A team to go undefeated. That should be another real good football game going on down there.
Well, if we want to play the role of prognosticator, and I've always been a little bit of a critic of the football teams from down south, in that the competition that they play is not as strong as the Northern Conference or what some of the Denver teams see. Wheat Ridge is a big physical team, where Sierra is a good speed team that's got a pretty good player on defense also. But I don't know how you feel about that game, Michael, but I would think that Wheat Ridge would come out on top in that game.
Well, Wheat Ridge doesn't have the same guys. The three core players did graduate and move on. And Sierra has a good team. I think they might be able to pull it out at home. Montera under a lot of pressure, and he is hit and knocked down. They came on the safety blitz, and Barry Hansen got there and sacks him down at about the 3-yard line. Clock running 25 seconds, and too bad the Trojans don't have some timeouts. Try to stop the clock.
Yeah, don't look for Centennial to snap the ball again.
I would
They're
think
underneath the 25-second clock.
They are, okay, if they're underneath it, then I doubt they'll snap the ball. That should be the last play we've seen here of the first half. As Centennial, they don't want to take a chance with anything here. Ball at the 2-yard line. So let the clock run out, and there it is. That is the end of the first half. And after a half of play, the Longmont Trojans and their fans very happy. They're going to take a 12-0 lead into the locker room of the Pueblo Centennial Bulldogs on the Channel 3 IBM Game of the Week. Halftime stuff coming up after this.
You don't have to search far to find the best tasting pizza. Just call Blackjack right here in Longmont. Locally owned and operated, Blackjack has the largest selection of all your favorite toppings, with our dough and sauce made fresh daily. Our talented team of pizza makers take pride in creating the best pies every time you order. So why call anywhere else? With carry-out, dine-in, delivery, and weekly specials, you can't go wrong with Blackjack. Visit Blackjack Pizza today or call 776-1900 for takeout or delivery.
Need a loan? First National Bank is here to help. At First National Bank of Longmont, you can apply for a loan 24 hours a day, 7 days a week by using our First Loan by Phone service. Call 776-1616 to apply for a loan with competitive rates and flexible terms to build your dream house, buy a car, or fly away on a relaxing vacation. We are here for you anytime. First National Bank of Longmont, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Most people know that chiropractic treatment can relieve pain resulting from a job-related injury or auto accident. But at Stately Chiropractic, we do more than just get rid of pain. We're a holistic healthcare practice concerned with your family's total wellness. We concentrate on keeping your family healthy and are successful in treating many common ailments such as ear infections, migraine headaches, and chronic low back pain. Enjoy good health and call us today at Stately Chiropractic.
Channel 3 now brings you the Channel 3 Profiles, a program featuring local people living remarkable lives. Tune in to Channel 3 for the Channel 3 Profiles.
At Herbert Motors in Longmont, we've set our goals high with a commitment to provide every customer with the highest level of service in the automotive marketplace at no extra cost to you. Before, during, and after the sale, Herbert Motors is dedicated to your complete satisfaction. We call it red carpet treatment. And at Herbert Motors in Longmont, it's not just a slogan, it's the only way we do business. Experience red carpet treatment for yourself. Stop into Herbert Motors on the diagonal at Sunset in Longmont.
And we're back here at Everly Montgomery Field, 12-0 the lead for the Longmont Trojans over the Pueblo Centennial Bulldogs at halftime. And we'll talk real quick here about that first half. The Trojans had a couple of opportunities, 3 times in the red zone, came in with 1 touchdown. They had a 6-0 at the time, but what really made the difference was late in that first half. They had the ball in Centennial territory, and Greg, you were talking about how the history of the Trojans, when they are in the opposing team's territory, they'd like to do fake punts. They did. Chrisman completed a pass to Hansen, and that set up the touchdown pass to Kalamea. So the Longmont Trojans, kicking game might be the one thing they're lacking right now, but they do have that 12-0 lead in the game.
Well, their special teams has not been one of their strong suits this year, unless you count that fake punt there, which came up real big. The Trojans looking pretty good on the defensive side of the ball after the first series.
Well, let's take a look here now at our sponsors of this football games, and we'll start off with IBM. IBM connects with kids.
Blackjack Pizza, they feed us before every game. We're thrilled about it, and we eat lots of pizza.
Excuse me, I have to belch there. Oh, okay, now got it done. Okay, thank you. Good Blackjack Pizza. Herbert Motors. For all your automotive needs, stop into Herbert Motors and experience their red carpet treatment.
Dr. Richard McManaman. Dr. McManaman has been serving Longmont's orthodontic and that's why you get to read this whole thing. Temporal mandibular dysfunction headache needs for over 23 years.
What is that, I wonder? Rocky Mountain Paint and Body. For quality, service, and integrity, go to Rocky Mountain Paint and Body for all of your collision and hail repair needs.
Stately Chiropractic. Doctors Stately and Larimore have successfully treated many sports-related injuries, and they are now accepting new patients.
Visual Impact Photography for all your family, wedding, and business photo needs. Call Visual Impact Photography.
First National Bank of Longmont, your community bank for the next millennium.
And the Front Range Indoor Flea Market. Longmont's largest upscale flea market features new and quality used furniture, smart living for less. Stop by, thank our sponsors, please. If you buy their products, take their services, say, hey, we saw you on Channel 3, thanks for sponsoring those games. We sure appreciate it.
And make sure you tell them you really appreciate being able to see the playoff games here on IBM's Channel 3 Game of the Week.
Okay, we'll take a break, and we're going to come back in a little while. We'll have the second half of this game on the Channel 3 IBM Game of the Week. The Trojans lead the Bulldogs 12-0.
Hi, and welcome to Rocky Mountain Paint and Body. My name is Casey. How can I help you today?
Since 1970, Rocky Mountain Paint and Body has been a family-owned and operated business in Longmont. We pride ourselves on being not only active in the Longmont community, but also for our exceptional customer service. We offer written warranties and use only high-quality DuPont paints. We come trusted and recommended by insurance companies and dealers. What we offer is quality, service, and integrity. Let us help you get through the insurance maze.
Give the gift that always fits and the one they wouldn't want to return. Call Visual Impact Photography today to schedule your uniquely different portrait for this holiday season.
Channel 3 Sports brings you the best in high school sports action. Watch this week as the Longmont Trojans battle the Pueblo Centennial Bulldogs in the first round of the state football playoffs. As always, we will have play-by-play excitement, game stats, and sideline reports. Tune in Saturday at 6 p.m., Sunday at 10 a.m. and 6 p.m., Monday at 6 p.m., and Wednesday at 4 p.m. for this week's Channel 3 IBM Game of the Week on Channel 3, the Longmont Channel.
A beautiful smile is one thing you can wear your whole life. And Dr. Richard McManaman has been helping make beautiful smiles in Longmont for over 20 years. Effective and affordable, modern orthodontics will improve the health and longevity of your teeth, whether you're young or old. Dr. McManaman offers free consultation, plus convenient evening hours and flexible payment plans. Call 772-7722 for an appointment or visit Dr. McManaman in the Centennial Shopping Center next to Safeway in Longmont.
And we're back here for the IBM Channel 3 Game of the Week. The Trojans blanking the Bulldogs through 2 quarters of play, 12-0. Pueblo Centennial having some difficulties moving against the Longmont defense. And there you see Joe Chrisman, the guy who was throwing for a touchdown pass and ran for another. So a good effort from the Longmont Trojans to get this 12-point lead going into the second half of play.
Well, the Trojans have played a solid game. They've played consistent. Good defense today. The Pueblo Centennial looked like their running game was going to give them some fits there early, but the Trojan coaching staff, as they've always done, has made the adjustments need to be made. So
let's look at the stats here. Rushing yardage, 43 for Pueblo Centennial, 86 for Longmont. Centennial has no completion, so therefore no passing yardage. Longmont 114 on 3 big receptions, but 3 of 13, not a very good number in terms of percentage of passes completed. Total yards 43 for the Bulldogs, 200 for the Trojans. First down, Centennial has just 1. Trojans have 9. There are no turnovers for either team, and the penalties 3 for 20 for Pueblo Centennial, and the Longmont Trojans 1 for 5.
And those stats really, the total yard stats, a little misleading. Let's take a look at the individuals here for Pueblo Centennial. Van Manen, 5 carries for 12 yards. Trojans done a great job shutting him down. Cortez, 3 carries for 9 yards. And Montera, 9 carries for 22 yards. And the Trojans, it looked like they were going to give up some big chunks of yards, but really held that running game intact. For the Trojans, Chrisman, 6 carries, 18 yards. Wing, 5 carries, 33 yards. Garcia, 12 carries for 35 yards. Passing-wise, Crispin just 4 completions, but 114 yards. A touchdown pass to Calamea of 18 yards on a slant in. Receiving Calamea, 2 catches, 36 yards with that touchdown. And Harvey, the 1 catch for 27 yards. The Trojans, really, their yardage coming on big plays. You know, not a lot of just consistency in the offense, but the big plays helping rack that yardage total up.
Okay, let's kick it down to the sideline here, and we'll hear from Jeff, please.
Thanks, Mike. I talked to both head coaches at the halftime break. Coach Brockman of Pueblo told me that he was real upset about the fact that he thinks that all the bounces went Longmont's way. He's concerned about his blocking on the offense. He's got to get that option running. He said he's going to be changing some of his blocking techniques. For Longmont, Coach Kramer, he was concerned about missed opportunity to score. He told me that he is committed to the rollout pass and the play action pass. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Jeff Pfeiffer down there on the sideline. Sean Wing out in the middle of the field ready to kick. And that ball hits off, and I think they might have been trying to set up a play there as Wing drilled it off of Mike Cummings. And did he miss it there?
No, if you're looking at Chris Wing, you know he just flat out missed the ball. It was not a set play. As he is shaking his head, and the Trojan kicking game continues to be a mystery.
Yeah. I tell you what, that is very scary. Come playoff time, when you're changing off your extra point kicker, your field goal kicker, you don't like to see that at all. And as a result of the bad kick by Wing, and she drilled off of number 66, Mike Cummings, they have the ball to the Bulldogs in great field position at the 42-yard line.
Ball's on the ground.
Let's see who has it. Looks like Centennial recovered it.
Just following the ball right to the ground was Montera. See it there, everyone just diving to the ground real fast.
Trying to get to it as the ball was fumbled. But the Trojans and their defense, and that was the one thing that was talked about, was the size of that offensive line for Pueblo Centennial versus the size of the Longmont Trojans, which isn't as big at all, of course, as the size of that Centennial team. A good run there by Van Manen, but he is knocked down after a very short, well, I should say about a 5-yard gain.
Van Manen did a good job dancing through the hole there that was developed by the line, and got a good positive pickup. Talk about the Trojans being outsized. They have been outsized in the past, and this coaching staff always seems to find a way to attack that.
So third down here for Pueblo Centennial, a big third down. They need to get something going. Here's the pitch to Van Manen. He's in a lot of trouble, and he is going to lose yardage. The Trojan defense comes out fired up, and a good play there led by the Trojans. Number 58, Jason Giles, and Giles.
Well, Freilich and Harvey
also.
Yeah, Freilich and Harvey also joined the fracas there, and Van Manen just nowhere to go.
So the Trojans now looking to receive the kick. Here's the punt away. Brad Harvey running back. Hansen tries to get it. He had his hands on it. Oh boy, I tell you, it has been an adventure back there. Barry Hansen, I think the ball went through his hands, although it was directly behind me. I wasn't able to tell for sure. His back, was to me. I wasn't able to see the ball because I was shielded. But it looked to me like it went through his hands.
Well, if you're the up man on the punt return, you do not want to be catching the ball over your shoulder because that's what the deep man is back there for. This time, Hansen is not going to get the congratulations he got on that punt play from the first half.
That was a situation where Hansen and Harvey are lining up right across from each other, so there really isn't a deep man per se. And I tell you what, the Trojans have got to work on their special teams, the kick game for sure. Sean Wing gets the ball, runs right into the teeth of the defense, and is going to get about 2 yards for his efforts.
Just a little simple dive play through the middle, not a lot of yardage. Trojans that time had set up both receivers to the right side, trying to take the safety out of the middle of the field.
2nd and 9. They bring their safeties up. They have 2 free safeties basically and a strong safety. They bring those guys up and they act as linebackers. Here's a handoff to Wing, trying to get some blocking help. He gets some, stays on his feet, bounces around, and depending upon the mark, should have the first down. He does. He's past the 25. It'll be 1st and 10. There was a case there where Sean Wing just waited for his blocks to develop, and we'll see it here on the replay, Greg, to get that first down yardage.
Well, a big, strong kid, and he runs out of a tackle there, runs out of blocking, just keeps legs driving, pushing forward, and a first down on effort.
Good effort there by Sean Wing, as he and Aaron Garcia have been splitting about 50-50, the tailback, bulk of the running in this game. Here's handoff to Wing again. Gets around the outside, cuts through, and has the first down, is out near the 40-yard line. 39-yard line, a run of 14. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Trojans.
Good seal block on the outside. Pulling guards come around. Sean Wing gets to the outside. Once he's out there, lots of room to run. Trojans are marching the ball. They've found something here on the last couple of possessions.
Yeah, they've got made some adjustments. Again, I always said I love the adjustments that the Trojan coaching staff makes at halftime. And now they're moving the ball better. Although Chrisman in a lot of trouble, gets away. Has Magley deep. The jump ball is not touched by anyone. And Chrisman really had to throw that one so that Magley would be about the only guy who had a chance to get to it.
Defensive end gets free, gets lost in the shuffle, comes free behind Chrisman, so he has to get rid of the ball before he's ready. Just basically thrown away and almost, gets it in the vicinity of his receiver. You see Coach Tom Brockman over there in the center of your picture on the far side.
Ray Torres was the one who'd come off the line there, giving Chrisman the pressure the last play out. 2nd and 10. Wing still in the ball game. Going to run an option play. Chrisman going to try to turn it upfield himself. And a block by Sean Wing. And Chrisman keeps his feet moving, stays in bounds, and gets about 7 yards.
Well, that time Magley did not really provide the contact, but Joe Chrisman uses him as a shield in order to create space from the defense. You see him down here, he thought about pitching. Magley's there, and just his body being in the way creates space for Chrisman to pick up a couple extra yards.
The best block Matt Magley ever meant to make. So here it is, 3rd down and 3. Hand the ball off to Wing, right up the middle, and he bounces. He will get the first down at midfield.
Good presence of mind that time by Sean Wing as he started running parallel to the line of scrimmage. Realized that as he was starting to lose his balance, he had to dive. Midair, he dives over the line, picks up the first down.
Wanted to make sure because he had the first down yardage on the dive. As you mentioned, though, started to go parallel to look for more yardage and possibly could have been tackled right near the sticks, but instead fired forward, got enough for the first down at midfield. It's 1st and 10. Trojans have the ball and the lead 12-0 with 7:40 to go in the 3rd quarter. Here's handoff to Wing again. This time he is hit hard and driven back by number 70, Carlos Lucero, and by number 4, Zach Gray. All of them all over him on that play.
Just straight ahead handoff. Come in right between the guard and tackle. And 70 is a big guy.
Yeah, he is.
Carlos Lucero out
251.
there. Tipping the scales at 251, and Sean Wing's not going to throw him around like he does some of the tacklers.
I don't think there's anybody on the Trojan team at all who comes anywhere near 251. Second down and 11. Picking up the wing, Crispin looking, fires it out, has a reception and pulled down, as that is Chris Spahn, the tight end. And Spahn from his tight end position gains about a half yard when it's all said and done.
Chris Spahn looked like he might have given up on that play, looking at the flow going the other way. Crispin turns and finds him, and for all intents and purposes, that's a completed pass and little else.
Yeah, that's it. He gained about a half yard, so make sure we get that credited, Mike, on the stat sheet. Third down and 10. For Longmont Trojans, the ball at the 50. Pueblo Centennial needs to hold here. Fake the handoff to Garcia. Crispin in some trouble, gets it away, skips the ball into Calamea. So that'll bring up fourth down and 10, and the Trojans send out the punter, Kurt Earl.
Tough pass that time by Joe Crispin as he jumped up in the air to find the space to make that throw, tries to throw it sidearm and skips it in on one hop.
Don't expect the Trojans here to do a fake punt, because I think what Coach Gordon Kramer is going to want is to pin the Bulldogs deep in their own territory and continue to win that battle of field position, force Centennial to go a long way for a touchdown. Earl gets it away, pretty good punt. Ball coming down, bounces, and is knocked ahead, but they're going to bring it back to the point of where the Longmont Trojan player tried to, rather slyly, I'll give him credit, knock that ball downfield about 10 more yards, but the referee's on top of that. That's their job.
And just a little message to Mr. Calamea there. The referees have seen that before.
Yeah, they're looking for that. But still, give Ryan credit. He tried. And if they don't see it, you get 10 extra yards, so might as well give it a shot. Ball to 19, there's no penalty on that, so might as well give it a shot. First and 10 for Centennial. They have not done much to this Trojan defense. One first down. Complete domination, and this guy here has had a tough game. Van Manen, that time they get some blockers out there, and he gets ahead for about 4 or 5 yards.
And something I want to keep an eye on as this game goes along is that when Van Manen takes that ball, you get a good look at Coach Gordon Kramer right there.
Good look at his ear.
23 years in the program, 25 in the program, 23 as head coach. But as Van Manen takes that ball, you may look for him to try his own halfback option pass on that later on. As he's taken it a couple times, it looked like maybe he's looked for that play.
Looked like this could be a broken play. Montera in a lot of trouble, and that's a gimme for Jeremy Rohde. And because he is caught behind the line of scrimmage, that will go down as a sack. So that's a loss of 4, the 5 yards they gained on the play before. Credit a sack to Rohde, and it'll bring up third down and 9. And that was a busted play there, Greg.
That's the worst feeling in the world when you're the quarterback and you turn and the guys, nobody's there.
There's nobody there, and you're going to get hit.
And you don't mind running the ball when you know you may have a chance to run the ball, but when you're expecting to hand it off, totally different situation.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, just plain stuffed.
Well, Harvey comes up from his safety position on a blitz. He slips in around the side as Montera turns. So after the first part of the option, boom, Mr. Harvey's there. Good play, good call.
Well, Brad and Bear are going to go back again. It's been an adventure back there. One of them paid off. They actually had about a 50-yard punt return that got down to the 6-yard line late in the second quarter. Did not result in any points, though. There's a line drive kick bouncing around. It looks like Harvey's going to take it, circle around, try to find some room, gets a block, cuts to the outside, football, ball's on the ground, goes out of bounds. Very fortunate. A good play there by number 35, Ben Pappas. And we both saw him coming from behind, Greg, and realized that's what he was going to do. Of course, Brad Harvey couldn't see him.
That's a new tackling technique. Well, it's not new. It's been around for years, but it's really emphasized anymore as the turnover and creation of turnovers has become more and more important to the game. But as the defender comes up from behind, you see that arm come up and just chops down at the ball. And we've said before that most sports, and especially football, is a game of mimicry and creating the turnover with that strip is the in vogue thing.
That would have been big for Pueblo Centennial. They really needed that. As it is, Longmont has great field position at the Bulldog 44. Now there's a loss of 5 yards right away by number 37, John Haskell. Haskell comes up from his safety position, and he gets a sack there. We'll see it on the replay.
Well, the Trojans looking possibly for zone coverage there. They find man. Chrisman takes a step back. It's not there. As soon as it's not there, he's got to get out of there or expect to be hit.
Yeah, Chrisman looked, didn't see his first receiver, was trying to go to his second receiver as he was checking off, but it was a good play by Haskell as he came through there to get the 5-yard sack. Second down. Run the option to pitch to Wing. Wing to the short side of the field is going to be driven out of bounds, and everyone's right near those benches. You don't want to see anybody crash into that.
Well, and the bad thing about that kind of accident in on the sideline is the guys that are usually back in the back of the pack there without pads on are the guys with injuries.
They're the guys with injuries, and they're the guys, unfortunately, who get popped in this play right there.
And that was, looks like Jared Summerbold that took the brunt of that hit.
No one looks to be injured, though, so it'll be 3rd down and 9 for the Trojans. They have great field position. Hate to see them lose it without at least getting 1 first down, giving themselves a chance. Oh, they tried to do the counter underneath, and that was read nicely. Number 91, Roger Valdez, was all over that. I mean, there was no chance to hand that ball off. I think they were trying to get it into Sean Wing's hand coming from the tight end position, and you'll see it on the replay here.
You see it right there. Wing's coming underneath, and right where Wing was supposed to be is where Valdez is.
So Valdez comes in there and makes the play, and the defense of Pueblo Centennial, outside of 2 drives, has been awesome. But it's been those drives that resulted in touchdowns that are the difference in this ball game. Earl to Kirk kick again. Nice hanging punt, fair catch is called, and Van Manen gets it at the 15, we'll call it the 14-yard line, 1st and 10 for the Longmont Trojans there. With 2:26 to go in the 3rd.
Well, Pueblo Centennial, for them to get back in this ball game, they need to put together a little drive. The Trojan defense has really stepped it up here coming out of the halftime.
Well, they had a great first half, and it's been no letdown at all.
And as good as you said that first half is, they've really come out more aggressive. You're seeing more blitz, more point of attack contact, and Centennial just not able to get things on track.
Well, Montero looking over defense, I thought he might try. Hey, Robinson's got him, pulls him down at the run. Robinson with a great play, a big guy, I love him. He is huge and he is fast, and they're going to call him down at the 2 officially. But Glenn Robinson comes off the line and makes a great play. Watch him come into the play here.
Well, he just beat 76 there. Roger Hemmerich, he just gets beat like a drum, and K. Glenn Robinson chases him down to the end zone, and very lucky for Centennial, they get the spot at the 2, so not as much peril right off the bat, but still not a good situation for Centennial.
Yeah, ball at the 2-yard line. It could have been at the half-yard line. The Trojan defense has just been awesome in this 3rd quarter. Here's a handoff to the first man through. I'll check to see who that was. Lots of bodies in the way.
And K. Glenn Robinson's family just right down beneath us, and they were very excited about that previous play.
Very happy. As was the rest of this crowd. Robinson, as you mentioned, just blew right by his blocker. And Montero had nowhere to go.
Right now, if you're Pueblo Centennial, you're looking just for room for your punter.
Yeah.
Right now, he would be just about a yard short of his normal drop, but he would be back near the end line in the end zone.
Yeah, he'd be standing at the end line right now.
If you're the Trojans, you're going to pin your ears back and go after him here.
3rd down and 20. Here's the handoff. Van Manen gets outside. He has some room. He's coming near 1st down yardage. He's going to be about 4 yards short of the 1st down.
Good play. As we said, the Trojans had pinned their ears back, and they got caught inside. Then Manning got outside, had lots of running room. Good pursuit by the Trojans after the play. Rhodey got turned around. Looked like he might have been hooked, and kept from making the play.
So that'll bring up a 4th down, though. Roden with the tackle. Sam Cortese back to kick. Line drive headed towards Harvey. Ball bouncing around.
That ball came real close, and it
did. I was afraid of that.
Gutsy, as he was making the block, it hit him in the back of the leg.
Well, Kevin Gussie was trying to block. They were yelling at him to get out of the way. And this is an unfortunate situation for Kevin. He is down there trying to block the player, and they're yelling at him to get away from the ball. But unfortunately, he was tied up in a blocking situation.
He was in the block, but he has got to hear when Harvey or Hansen calls him off. He's got to get out of the way. Yeah. He has got to get out of the play.
He's got to get out of there, and as such gives a first turnover and a big one for Pueblo Centennial. They have the ball at the 49-yard line. Coming upfield is Van Manen. He is wrapped up and brought down by the same said guy, Kevin Gussie.
Gussie came up and made a very sure tackle. No one on the field feeling worse right now than Kevin Gussie.
Kevin Gussie very upset with what happened. And you're absolutely right. He feels bad about it. Even the rest of this defense, though, they've played great. They have played just awesome in this third quarter, which, by the way, has 4 seconds. I don't know if they'll get the play off or not. They do. This will be the last play. Van Manen runs it. He has the first down. And he's in this. The 10, the 5, touchdown Van Manen. And boy, that's a huge turnover. Pueblo Centennial gets the 46-yard touchdown run by Van Manen as he cut up the middle. And you said it, Greg. About the time you said touchdown, no one was going to get to him. And that was the last play of the third quarter. And what a terrible last 2-3 plays for the Longmont Trojans. They're going to kick the extra point right now.
So a big turn of events for the Trojans. The turnover and now the touchdown. And with a successful extra point, they can pull within 5
points.
5 points.
Yeah, 5 points.
Sorry,
Zach Gray to kick it. The kick is up, and it looks like it is good, and it is. 12-7 is the score. At the end of 3 quarters of play, we'll be back for the fourth quarter right after this.
You don't have to search far to find the best tasting pizza. Just call Blackjack right here in Longmont. Locally owned and operated, Blackjack has the largest selection of all your favorite toppings, with our dough and sauce made fresh daily. Our talented team of pizza makers take pride in creating the best pies every time you order. So why call anywhere else? With carry-out, dine-in, delivery, and weekly specials, you can't go wrong with Blackjack. Visit Blackjack Pizza today or call 776-1900 for takeout or delivery.
And we're back here as the fourth quarter about to begin. And you made a good point. And go ahead and mention that, what you were talking about after the play by Robinson.
Well, Robinson makes a big play there down to 1. The Trojans defense maybe a little soft. Gave up a big running play to the Van Manen right before they went to punt. And then the next running play, they score the touchdown on the long run. Trojans maybe starting to either one, get worn down, or Central has found something in their running game. So the Trojans cause for concern now.
Now, we were talking about, with a minute left to go in the third quarter, how they had played excellent on defense. Then Gussie has the unfortunate fumble, where the ball basically just ran up and from behind on the punt. Let it go out of bounds, they do. But on the play, Gussie was blocking, didn't get out of the way. Unfortunately, it ran into him. But we're getting a chance here to look at the touchdown. Let's take a look and tell us what happened here.
Just a simple power play right up the middle, and Van Manen really did a good job of picking his holes, and the Trojan defense got caught up too close to the line of scrimmage. Once he broke contain, he was gone.
So because the ball went out of bounds, the Trojans will have the ball first and 10 at the 35-yard line.
Most important drive of the game for the Trojans. They need to come back, try to stem this momentum, and even if they can't score, they need to take some time off the clock. They cannot go 3 and out on this drive. They've got to do something positive here.
Yeah, because I mean, the balloon burst in a big way with about 1:12 to go in the third quarter.
Much like when the Trojans ran the fake punt, the next play, Centennial was stunned. After the fumble recovery, it looked like the Trojan defense was stunned and gave up a big play also.
Kevin Gussie made a tackle after the fumble, and then the next play after that, 2-play drive, went downfield for the touchdown for Centennial. First and 10 for the Trojans, ball to 35. Hand off to Garcia, trying to get outside, cuts back inside, keeps his feet moving, will get 4 yards on a good effort there. Nicely defensed by Centennial, but Garcia kept driving and was able to get 4 yards.
Well, he just kept working. There wasn't a whole lot there as he came off the corner on the off-tackle play, being led out there on the block, and just kind of fighting his way through.
The St. Calamea late into the play here. They're going to run Nielsen, it looks like, off the field. Chrisman has Garcia in the backfield with him on second down. Hand the ball to Garcia. Garcia gets outside and cuts through. Splits away. He's into Bulldog territory at the 45-yard line. A good run there of about 20 yards.
It's really a shame that this is just the first year that Garcia has played football, because of the speed and the natural running ability he has. With a few more years under his belt as a running back, just think about how his vision would improve on the field. But he shows flashes, and he's looking so much better than he did 4 weeks ago when he first got into the backfield.
15-yard gain there gives the Trojans first and 10 at the 45-yard line. Here's a handoff inside to Wing. And Wing will get about 4 yards.
Just straight ahead football, keep the teams honest.
Second down and 6.
Trojans doing a good job mixing things up between the off-tackle play and then bringing it right back up the middle.
10.5 to go in the ball game. The Trojans ahead by 5. There's a missed extra point. Well, a missed extra point and a missed 2-point conversion means that if Centennial gets the ball and a touchdown and no further points from the Trojans are down. But Christian has the ball, cuts, he's at the 30, the 25, and is pulled at the 20. First and 10 for the Trojans on a great drive. And you talked about how they had to have an answered drive. And Greg, you were 100% correct. They came out and they have answered at least to this point.
One of the things I really enjoy about watching Joe Chrisman is that excitement he has when he sees he's got something. He doesn't hesitate. He just, boom, hits another gear, gets up into the hole.
The thing about Joe Chrisman is he's the best running back out there. When he has the ball and he has the seam, he's the one who's going to keep it.
Well, we've said it before, he may be one of the best runners in the state.
Here's a handoff to Wing. Wing cuts back. He gets about 3-4 yards.
Exactly what the Trojans needed is to put Centennial back on their heels, and right now their defense does appear to be a little stunned by the success the Trojans are having.
Well, the Trojans have had the ball in the red zone like they do now. 3 times. They came in with 1 touchdown, but the other times they did not. They looked poor inside the 10. Chrisman going to keep it himself, looking for another block to spring him. He'll get near the first down when it's all said and done at the 10-yard line.
That play made possible that time by a block by Chris Spahn. He just absolutely turned the defensive end in and created the space for Joe Chrisman to get around the corner.
So it will be 3rd down and 1.
See the camera shaking there. The Trojan faithful starting to get behind the team, trying to urge them on. And at Mile High Stadium, they call that Rocky Mountain Thunder. Got a little bit of Everly Montgomery thunder going here.
Big 3rd down play for both teams. Hand off. Wing cuts inside. He's at the 5. Knocked down inside at the 4-yard line. First and goal for the Longmont Trojans. And a great play by the left side of the offensive line. He just blew him out, Greg.
That play was going to go wide. Sean Wing sees a hole. Good job by Markle kicking out on the defensive end. And Sean Wing goes down and delivers the blow.
And we'll get back down to earth here. And it's 1st and goal. Trojans again have had the ball 3 times inside the 10 and only have 6 points to show for it. Everyone came in a long pass.
Joe Chrisman here. Watch for him.
Hands the ball off. Sean Wing fighting still. He's going to gain a yard or 2 on that. The other couple times when the Trojans had the ball inside the 10, they did not do very well.
That play may be used to set up some kind of bootleg for Joe Chrisman. Has the old counter trey look to it on that last play where all the movement goes to the right, all the defense goes to the right. Good time to go ahead and pull the ball down and come back.
Chrisman has Kalamea and Nielsen to his left. Here's the option play. Chrisman going to keep it himself, turn it up inside, touchdown, Joe Chrisman, flag flies. This could be bad.
This could be a holding call. He's thrown right at the feet of Nate Kelly in there.
We all hold our breaths here, but it looks like it's going to go against the Trojans. They're going to call a clip, and that is
15 yards.
15 yards is compared to 10. Rather have the hold, frankly.
Take a look at it here. Joe Chrisman coming up the line of scrimmage, sees the hole, boom, gets in there.
And maybe that's on Kalamea. At the very end of that play there, it looked like possibly Kalamea was pushing it back.
Well, remember that flag was thrown into the pile, so it happened between the tackles, basically, and I didn't think clipping was going to be called between the tackles.
That's why I think it might have been on Kalamea there. But no matter what, it moves it clear out to the 16-yard line where they have to go to the end zone. So 2nd and 16. The touchdown is negated, and that's going to be big. Here's the handoff, no fake. Chrisman has it, looking, fires it away to the back of the end zone, and out of the end zone, that's incomplete.
Even though that ball was caught by the defense, the ball is obviously out of play, but Joe Chrisman saves some additional loss there of about 6 yards just by getting rid of that ball.
Van Manen, you saw him in your picture, was one who caught the ball. But as you mentioned, that ball was thrown by Chrisman just in the general vicinity of a Longmont receiver, but well out of bounds because nobody was open there. Good play, a coverage play there.
Chrisman's had a lot of pressure on him this afternoon. Early it was it's all been coming from the outside, chasing him out of the pocket.
Power right backfield. Fakes handoff to Garcia. Looking, throws. Has Kalamea! Touchdown! Ryan Kalamea! A 16-yard touchdown pass for Joe Chrisman.
This play made possible by a pickup block by Sean Wing in the backfield. Just annihilated one of the defenders that was coming through. Coming in to get some pressure on Chrisman, and Wing just blasted him. Kalamea makes a diving catch at the end zone for the touchdown.
Kalamea had the ball at about the goal line where he caught it, rolled. He was in the end zone. They're going to go for 2. And they're going to have Wing and Garcia in the backfield. This is their second shot at the 2-point conversion.
This is to put them up by 11.
Here's the option play. Chrisman is going to get in there. Joe Chrisman keeps it himself. And that will give them a 20-7 lead by my math. That's 13?
That's 13.
That's 13. Okay, good. Well, you know how it is. I have a college education, and sometimes I still want it. 7:24 to go in the ball game. 13-point lead, 20-7 for the Longmont Trojans. And again, you were right on the money, Greg. You said they needed to have a big drive after that turnover on the punt and then 2-play touchdown drive from Pueblo Centennial. And Longmont marches right back downfield and answers with 7 of their own. 8, actually.
Well, senior leadership that time there. Chrisman comes out, Garcia comes out, and Wing come out, and they just put together an outstanding drive and put the Trojans back up with an insurance touchdown.
That's a big play because, again, the defense outside that, those 2 plays have played great in the second half. There's the kick, and again, it's going to find its way into the end zone.
On that 2-point conversion, an interesting play by Pappas as he was chasing the play down from behind. Chose to go for the pitch man from behind instead of Chrisman. I don't think he would have caught Chrisman anyway, but kind of a curious play in who he chose to pursue.
So the Centennial Bulldogs have the ball at the 20-yard line. It's trailed by 13. They have 7 minutes and 24 seconds to do something about it. The Longmont defense, on the other hand, has played excellent, saved 2 plays. Here's the handoff to Van Manen. And he's going to get ahead for a couple of yards. Outside that touchdown run of 46 yards, Van Manen has not done much.
If you're the Trojans and Pueblo Centennial is going to score, you prefer they do it on a long, slow, arduous drive, taking many plays instead of having the big hitter like they had on the last possession.
And that's the problem Pueblo Centennial faces. This is not a team. Yeah, they can be explosive, but they are not a predominantly passing explosive type team. Here's a handoff to the first player through, and the halfback gets ahead. That will be a first down. And that goes to number 32, Sam Cortez.
Once again, we talked about how the running game was starting to find its way for Centennial. Now they've had 2 carries, about 15 yards on the possession, 13 yards on the 2 carries. But the running game is starting to click just a little bit.
Yeah, Coach Tom Brockman and his staff have figured out something because they are moving the ball better now.
And it could be that the Trojan defense is starting to wear down a little bit.
Yeah, and they are outsized. Van Manen drilled. Big time hit by Jeremy Roby.
Van Manen thought he was going to have another breakaway up the middle of the field. He saw a hole. All of a sudden it was filled by number 16, Jeremy Roby.
We'll take a break and be right back. Off again. They get the ball into Cortez.
Look for Centennial, they'll go for it. This is 2-down territory. They got 2 downs to make 4 yards on this possession right here. So the Trojan defense really got to firm themselves up and not get trapped inside for a big play again.
Well, they don't have that explosive kind of offense. They aren't able to throw the ball real well. They have to try to just grind it out, and because of that, the clock continues to run. We're down to 5:20 to go in the ball game. Here's the handoff, Van Manen trying to get outside. He will not get the first down. Barry Hansen comes up and hits him. It's going to be short by at least a yard. 4th down, and again, you're absolutely correct. They're going to be going for this one. And this is for Pueblo Centennial to play the game. They have got to get the first down. We're under 5 to go in this ball game.
Trojan defense pretty much just plays straight up run on this play.
Here's a handoff, Van Manen cuts back inside. I believe he's there. Yes, by the spot. He got it by a half yard. 1st and 10 ball just about the 44-yard line. And that's a good run there, and lots of blocking. As you mentioned, everybody up the line.
Everyone up the line. Gussie comes in, gets underneath him. And if Gussie hadn't got a part of his leg, that play would have gone a little farther.
They do get the first down, but the clock continues to run. Really, the enemy right now, Pueblo Centennial, is that clock. And Van Manen wrapped up and pulled down as Brad Harvey comes in on a safety blitz and is able to pull him down for a loss of 2.
Harvey's had several big plays in this game today. Here's another one right there. And it really got fought off by Van Manen, but he just refused to give in, pulls him down.
Well, they're going to call a timeout on Pueblo Centennial as they have 2nd down and 12. There you see Coach Gordon Kramer sending out his coaching staff to talk about things. The defensive coordinator heads on out there.
Coach Doug Johnson heads out. And Coach Johnson from a coaching lineage. His father was a legendary coach up in Lyons when the Lions had such a dominant football team.
That was a great, great team in the 70s and early 80s. Lions were always in the state championship game, it looked like, for about 5-6 years there. Coach Tom Brockman on the other side, though, Greg, He's got to get first downs, but he's got to get something quick. There's 4 minutes and 7 seconds. It's got a long way to go just to get down to get 1 touchdown. Not much time.
Well, he's got a team that's got to find some way to score quick. He's almost looked like he was drawing plays in the dirt out there.
Yeah, it might be. It's come to that.
And he had some concerns coming into this ball game. Of course, he did a little bit of the Lou Holtz thing, thinking that, you know, this was such a good Longmont team, and it is a good Longmont team, but, you know, kind of form out his own team as far as how they have to play perfect, and that's really something that you've got to bring to the table against the Trojans.
Straight drop, in trouble, Gabriel, almost intercepted. Oh, I tell you what.
Nathan Freilich has end zone on his mind there, and I think we were right. I think they drew that play up in the huddle. They were trying to hit Van Manen, and you'll see it right here, a little spin.
Oh, boy, Freilich, if he catches that one, only Van Manen's speed would have caught him. He was the only guy who would have had a chance.
But there's, like we've said this before, but there's a reason his number starts with 6. And defensive ends typically don't have the greatest hands.
So it's 3rd down now, 3rd and 12, and this is a situation where Pueblo Centennial wants to get back about half of it or so. They're trying to give themselves a chance on 4th down. Lots of trouble again, and he is sacked. Going to get credit there is number 99, Brian Bean, for the sack.
Brian Bean comes in from his nose tackle position. Barry Hansen helps him clean it up. Big play for the Trojans.
Well, there's 3:45 to go in the ballgame. Clock still rolling. Bean helped out there by Hansen.
Montero looked up as he was rolling out, and he knew nothing good was going to happen.
And they are going to punt the ball. So with 3:30 left, this is almost a concession here by the coach. He's going to have a big play by his defense.
Well, Trojans got too many men on the field.
It looks like they might get him off, and they do. Break there. There's the kick. Oh, man, he kicked it off his own man. Unbelievable. The ball's bouncing out. Trojans are going to get incredible field position.
And that's a penalty.
That is a penalty. He kicked the ball out of bounds. You'll see that very rarely. Sam Cortez kicked the ball so low it hit his own blocker in the back.
Well, Sam Cortez hit number 15 for his team in the back, and that was Nick Montera, the quarterback. And
you see just the very end of the play there. They're going to call an illegal kick on the play. They'll decline that and take the ball where it rests.
And I would say, looking at that play and how it developed, Sam Cortez has some soccer background in him, the way he slid in and kicked that ball out of bounds.
Well, that is a backbreaker for the Bulldogs.
And the Trojans would not be adverse to going for the jugular here. We saw them do it last week against Skyline, putting up points in the last minute of the game. Expect the Trojans to go right after them here.
Now, the penalty is declined. It'll be 1st down and 10. Ball at the 14-yard line. Centennial's defense has to dig in. They don't have to dig in, Greg. They have to get a turnover. They have to. There's a handoff to Garcia. Garcia cuts. Still trying to keep going. Cut back inside. He's at the 10, the 5. Touchdown, Aaron Garcia. And the Longmont Trojans are 3 minutes and 3 seconds away from the second round of the state playoffs. They lead it now 26-7, and that might be the final nail.
Well, if you look across the sideline to Pueblo Centennial coaching staff, Coach Brockman and his assistants are out there just hanging their head. Yep. They knew they had an opportunity in this ballgame. Just good hard running by Aaron Garcia. We talked about his development as a tailback. He's come along. We've seen him grow today even in how he's running the ball.
2-point conversion attempt. Oh, they're going to kick it. Take that back. Sean Wing to kick. B.J. Nielsen had problems kicking, so now Wing's going to kick it. This one is good. So Sean Wing gets the extra point. That makes it 27-7. A 20-point lead for the Longmont Trojans.
And this score will be misleading to a lot of folks when they turn on the news. Yep, see the reports of this game. This game was a hard-fought game right up till the end.
You know, it's funny, Greg, we talked about how possibly it would be the Longmont defense that would be worn down by that bigger, Pueblo Centennial Bulldog offensive line, well, I think just the opposite happened, although there were some tough plays for Centennial. But Longmont has moved the ball, and in the latter part of the second half, especially in the fourth quarter, their blocking by the offense has been awesome. They have been making all kinds of holes.
And I really think it's a matter of execution on the Trojans' part. And also the defense for the Trojans has stepped up and made big plays when they had to.
Ball bouncing around is going to be covered by Sankey. Sankey gets the ball out to the 21-yard line. First and 10 there for Centennial. Jason Giles with the tackle.
We'll have a pretty good indication of what Pueblo Centennial's thinking as they come out for this first play. They will probably come out and try to do something very uncharacteristic for them, and that is trying to stretch the field with a long pass.
They're going to bring in a new quarterback, number 10, Jim Warren, has checked into the game. A junior, 160 pounds. And I don't know, I guess he might be the passing quarterback. He certainly is a lot taller than Montera, and that will certainly help trying to throw the ball. They're going to almost have to throw the ball, but no, he's going to keep it himself. And he pitches it late. And Van Manen gets the ball at the 30, and they're going to have a penalty flag. I don't know what the flag is.
Well, one thing to think about as they bring in a new quarterback is a comment that was made in pregame by Coach Brockman, and that is that he really views this team for next year. I asked him if his team was an older team. He said most of his better players were juniors and sophomores, and that he expected a little more out of his senior team than he had, but that he really felt this team was 1 year away from being as good as it's going to be.
That's a 15-yard penalty. It wasn't much of a late hit personal foul, but
once the player's down, the ball's down the ground, there's no more contact after that.
Yeah, even if you reach out and touch them, that can be construed as a penalty. They dropped the flag. No surprise they did this late in the game. Here's the handoff. And getting, next to nothing, Van Manen all game long, he loses more yardage. Outside the one big run, actually two. Got one as he came out from the shadow of his own end zone to get the ball from about the 4-yard line out to the 20, and then, of course, the 46-yard touchdown run. Everything else, he has just been snowed under or losing yardage. Happy cheerleaders here for the Longmont Trojans. And Jim Warren hasn't thrown the pass yet. Continues to hand the ball off. Makes me wonder if possibly Montera is just injured. He did have the ball kicked straight off his back.
Yeah, he may have a back injury.
It was drilled right into his back. You couldn't stand there and throw the ball any harder in his back than what happened on that play. He got smacked. And I don't see him sitting down anywhere, at least on that far side of the field. Third down, long. There we go. Van Manen has a receiver. He just lobs it up there. Oh, my. Let me tell you what happened there. Paul Workman doesn't tip it. Brett Harvey has the interception.
And if I'm Workman, I want to stay away from Harvey and go back to the huddle.
Exactly.
You may line up next to each other every play in the huddle, but not this play.
Because Workman, absolutely, Harvey had that one. That ball, Van Manen just threw it up. It was a dead duck. There you see he has his helmet off. So Montera is done for the game. Offensive interference, thank you, Mike. The spotter tells me that there was a penalty, offensive interference.
Coach Gordon Kramer saw a good look at him there.
So they're going to march this one off. If it is offensive interference, you take it because it's also a loss of down.
And you can see Harvey not even joining the huddle. Says not with that Workman guy in there.
That's Harvey, a loss of down.
Harvey's had an outstanding game.
Yeah, he has.
He's actually back for punt return.
He's in great condition, or great location, or condition, or let me see, what's the word I'm going for here? He has a great chance to be our player of the game. Let me put it that way.
I wonder what the conversations are around the Harvey household when the brother, who went up and played on at UNC, his brother went to UNC as an offensive lineman, and he gets to see his brother with all the glory play back there at strong safety, returning punts.
Here's the kick. It's coming down towards Brad Harvey. Let's go right through his hands. And it will be recovered by Pueblo Centennial. No, Longmont has the ball. Good play there, coming up from behind. And that is a good effort by James Gabler to watch that ball and grab it, as Pappas had pushed away Harvey to get to the ball.
Well, I would say it's safe to say that one of the Trojans' focus areas this next week in practice will be catching the punt. They've had several times today when the ball has hit the ground. That's 3 times today that the ball has hit the ground on punt coverage.
Yeah, that will not, yeah, absolutely. That's not something you can do on a regular basis. Not 3 times, not even once in a game, let alone 3 times, and generally come out with a victory. Here's the handoff. We like this little guy. That's number 25, Matt Davis, with his first carry of the game. And as you always talk about, Davis is a guy who, when he came in a couple times, we saw him earlier this year, first time he touched the ball, he ran for a touchdown. The next time he ran for a touchdown in the next game, but it was called back on a holding. So this is the future of the running team for the Longmont Trojans, as they're going to look to just run it out. 58 seconds to go in the ball game.
Well, the Trojan sidelines getting a little looser now. Coach Kramer, just a stand-up guy.
He's not going to smile before that game is done, and not much afterwards either.
And I got to give Coach Kramer some special thanks. I go down in the locker room before the games, and he does some chalkboard work for me, so I think he told me so I would know what I was talking about for future telecasts. But I had one of the coaches tell me earlier this year, yeah, you called it a double tight formation. We didn't run it one time in the whole game. You kept saying we were running double tight. So I said, okay, well, I'll try to learn a little bit here then.
Well, they're trying to reset the clock is our holdup here. Apparently the clock ran off too much. You know, after that Buffalo Bills Denver Bronco game, everyone real close at watching the clock now. They put it back to 1 minute and 5 seconds, so they added 7 seconds on. About the time of play they said was taken, or was added on to that Buffalo game. I think it was about 7 seconds they were talking about. So, well, I guess Buffalo gave it back, but here in Longmont.
Yeah, in Buffalo, 7 seconds can cost you a job as an assistant timekeeper.
1:05 to go in the game. Hand off to Davis again. Davis, what he needs to do right now is just hold on to the ball. Maybe one more play, possibly 2, unless Centennial does what I thought they were going to do, and that's take timeouts. They will use them.
Well, you can't take them home with you.
Yeah.
You can't save them for next
No,
year. So.
You got to use them. You got to take the chance that maybe he'll drop the ball. You return it for a touchdown. You just got to do that. It's part of the game.
Once again, we get another good look at Coach Kramer. And
Tom Aiello in there.
Yeah, Tom Aiello, the former Niwot quarterback.
Niwot quarterback, went to UNC. Same time I went to UNC. He was a starting quarterback up there for a time. So Rampart is the winner of the game over Hinckley, we are hearing. No, I'll take that back. They're just explaining things here. We do not know who the winner of that game was. So, as we talked about earlier, I thought they were talking on the public address system about Rampart winning the game. We do not have a final on that. Longmont will face the winner of the Hinckley-Rampart game. We do not know who that is. So,
if Rampart wins, there will be a coin toss. If Hinckley wins, Hinckley will host the game.
Will host the game. And Longmont will roll down to either Aurora or possibly on down to Colorado Springs. Here's the handoff. Davis gets through, had the first down, bounces off. He will get it. And stay in bounds. He doesn't.
Well, the clock stops anyway on the first down chain move. But
ball at the 43.
That's more like the runs we've seen Davis have this year. Well, let's talk about the future opponents or possible opponents for the Trojans. Aurora Hinckley just scares everybody with his speed. They've got one running back that averages about 20 yards per carry, and that's not on just one carry.
No, that's colossal. Yeah, that's amazing.
That is on about 30 carries during the season. They're a speed team. They have a loss this year that was played on a very sloppy and slow track.
Good Regis defensive team actually was what did it there. As Christmas is going to kneel down, they'll have probably one more snap. There's 40 seconds to go. Hinckley got beat by Regis. Regis is a very good defensive team like these Longmont Trojans. Rampart on the other side, they won their conference, so they're a pretty good football team as well.
And the only loss they had was to a very good Whitefield team that had problems later on in the season.
But Rampart is considered, along with Hinckley and Longmont, now the class of the 4A division.
This should do it right here. That'll do it. Chrisman kneels down, the clock will run. The celebration will begin for the Longmont Trojans. An impressive fourth quarter as they put up 2 touchdowns to put this game away. And there is the final siren here at Everly Montgomery Field as they line up to shake hands. The Longmont Trojans again win in the first round. They never lose in the first round, it seems like. Certainly not under Gordon Kramer. And they do so again. They get the victory 27-7 over the Pueblo Centennial Bulldogs. Now you see the fans very happy. We're going to come back. Keep it here. We'll have our post-game report and much more for you on this, the IBM Channel 3 Game of the Week. 27-7 Trojans over the Bulldogs.
A beautiful smile is one thing you can wear your whole life, and Dr. Richard McManaman has been helping make beautiful smiles in Longmont for over 20 years. Effective and affordable, modern orthodontics will improve the health and longevity of your teeth, whether you're young or old. Dr. McManaman offers free consultation, plus convenient evening hours and flexible payment plans. Call 772-7722 for an appointment or visit Dr. McManaman in the Centennial Shopping Center next to Safeway in Longmont.
Convenience, safety, and competitive rates can all be found at your community bank with 2 full-service locations in Longmont. At First National Bank, select from a variety of different accounts, from our free Spirit checking to the Spirit package account for seniors. Choose from these options to fit your personal situation. At First National Bank of Longmont, we're here for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Call us anytime. First National Bank of Longmont, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Rocky Mountain Paint and Body has been providing quality service and integrity since 1970, now with 200 years combined experience and ICAR Gold status. As a DuPont AOQ facility, we specialize in restoring late model unibodies and trucks to their pre-accident condition. We're experts at insurance claims handling and are trusted by major insurance companies as their direct repair facility. Hassle-free repair, pickup and delivery, and up to 5-year written warranties. At Rocky Mountain Paint and Body, we want your business.
Look at these beautiful dinette sets. Expensive? What if I told you they start at just $139? Or how about this sofa love seat from $489? Where can you get terrific bargains on quality furniture? You won't believe me, so I'll show you. These single mattress sets for just $169. Well, my time is up. What's the secret for new furniture at discount prices? The Front Range Indoor Flea Market. If you don't believe me, come see for yourself. 1420 Nelson Road in Longmont.
If Thomas Jefferson were alive today, he'd be a public access member. If Ben Franklin were alive, he'd be making public access programs for the masses. If George Washington were alive, he'd be saying... For more information about public access, call Tom Lewis, Public Access Coordinator, at 776-1424.
Welcome back to Channel 3, the IBM Game of the Week, where the Longmont Trojans have won the opening round of the playoffs, 27-7 over Pueblo Centennial. Let's kick down field side with Michael Rail and Coach Gordon Kramer.
Down here with Coach Gordon Kramer. Coach, this game was tight throughout. Some big plays, though, for both teams, really, but your team was able to cash them in.
Oh, it was a tough ball game, and the score doesn't indicate the way the game was. We were really pleased with the way that we played. Offensively, we got the points when we needed them. We were pretty consistent at times. We had one big drive there after their score that really got us right back where we wanted to be. Defensively, we basically had one bad play. We let their tailback out, and we knew that coming in that he was an excellent runner. You don't have 1,000 yards rushing if you don't do things when you have the ball. And the rest of the day, we pretty well kept him under control.
That's the thing to talk about. You had that drive, you gave up, like you said, that one big play, the 46-yard run, but then your offense came right back out. You moved the ball right downfield. You have to be very happy about that.
I'm pleased. I wasn't pleased with the fact we scored and had a call back. You know, we had the clipping, I believe it was. But what was nice, we could come back despite that penalty and still get it in the end zone. And Joe made a nice throw, and it was a nice catch. I think it was Ryan that made the catch, and that really helped us.
Now, in talking about your defense, they really, really shut down. And this is supposed to be, a big offensive line, supposed to wear down your team. Doesn't look like they wore them down at all. In fact, it looked like you guys were playing much better even at the end of the game.
Well, they're big, that's for sure. We've got some kids that are quick and move around well, and our linebackers really pursued the ball well. Coach Johnson called the defenses and the blitzes and things today, and he has a good feel for that, and he did a real good job of putting people on the football.
Last thing here, real quick. What does this do for you in the second round, this kind of a win?
Well, we're still alive. I guess that's the bottom line. But we'll have to look at who we're going to play. We don't know yet, either Hinckley or Rampart. We'd love to play Rampart because that means we get to play back home again. We'd like to do that, but whichever one it is, we'll have to go and establish a game plan that we think will work against.
Good luck next week.
All right, thank you, Michael.
Thank you very much. Gordon Kramer here, and he'll step on the side, and in will come Greg Herman. We appreciate Coach Gordon Kramer spending a moment here with us. And Greg, in talking about this game, the Trojans, they end up really showing that they are the powerful team that they are each year in the playoffs. They just don't lose in the first round.
Well, Coach Kramer always does a great job. At the start of the year, when he isn't loaded with an abundance of talent, his teams always look a little shaky at the start of the year. But him and his coaching staff do a great job of really nurturing the team along, bringing them along, and making them into contenders come tournament time. And really, that's what the whole season's about, is being that tough team when the money's on the line.
And that's what they do. They do it in the playoffs. Let's take a look now at our final stats in this ball game. And we see the rushing yardage, 109 for Pueblo Centennial, 213 for the Longmont Trojans. No yards passing for Centennial, 131 for the Longmont Trojans. Very well balanced. They're going to like that. Total yardage, 109 for the Bulldogs. The Trojans, 344. No completions on the passing for Pueblo Centennial, 7 of 18 for the Longmont Trojans. Trojans did have one turnover. It did lead to a touchdown. The penalties, 5 for 35 for Pueblo Centennial, and Longmont had 3 for 35. So that was a big game, a good game from the Longmont Trojans, as they did what we talked about. They wanted to do the pass and run Trojan style, and they got it done.
Well, when they were able to give Joe Chrisman protection, they were able to throw the ball very effectively in today's ball game. They also had the fake punt, which helped their passing yardage, but a very well-balanced game for the Trojans. Probably the most balanced game that they've had against a good team this year.
Yeah, this is a good time to get a good balanced game in the playoffs. Our player of the game for the Longmont Trojans, and it was a good effort from a lot of different people, and we went with number 44.
Brad Harvey, and we didn't discuss it before. That's why Michael keeps looking at me. But Brad
Make
Harvey
sure I'm right, please.
was our player of the game. He had some great defensive plays on the safety blitzes. He also had the interesting punt return where he took the fumbled recovery from Barry Hansen, took it all the way down the field. But Harvey, really the strong safety, the senior leadership on defense, and played an outstanding game. If we can, real quick, let's take a look at just a couple of the individual highlights. Joe Chrisman rushing today, just 14 for 41 and a touchdown. Wing, 15 carries, 81 yards. Good game for Sean Wing, more prominent in the offense today. And some of the things about Sean Wing, you don't see the blocks that he delivers when he doesn't have the ball with him. Davis, 3 carries for 22 yards there at the end of mop-up duty. Garcia, 15 carries for 69 yards and a touchdown. A very impressive touchdown run to put the game out of reach. Passing, Chrisman today, 6 for 17, 2 touchdowns, 131 yards, as we said. Calamia had 3 carries, 3 receptions, 52 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Ryan Calamia, also a very good game. And Harvey, 1 pass on the fake punt for 27 yards. And a very good performance by the Trojans today.
Absolutely. A lot of guys had great games, and that's what makes the difference in playoff time. You got to have a full team effort, and they got it. Well, that should wrap things up here from Everly Montgomery Field. The Longmont Trojans have won the first round of the State 4A playoffs. I'm Michael Orell. This is Greg Herman, Jeff Pfeiffer, and the rest of the Channel 3 crew. 27-7, the Trojans over the Bulldogs. This has been the best high school sports action anywhere. You see it on Longmont Channel 3 with the IBM Game of the Week. Have a great week, everyone.